my channel, my channel, my content. My channel, my content. My channel, my content.
Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday. How you guys doing?
Good.
What's up?
Another day.
It is. Welcome. So we're going to just do a test to make sure everybody can hear us.
Cool.
We have a little of a delay because sometimes we've had a podcast, but we just yap for about 5 minutes and then we finally look and it's like, we can't hear you. It's like, oh, shit.
Everybody's
Yeah.
Well, that was all the good stuff. Now what are we going to do?
Yeah, well, you had to repeat it.
Yeah.
So let's just see. We should be good.
Yep, it works.
Yeah, they heard. Somebody had their volume super high and we just blew out their ears.
Nice.
okay.
It's working very well.
It's working too well. So, how are things, man? It's been a while.
Good. Crazy busy as usual. I mean, it
Yeah.
really hadn't let off any. I mean, we are still wide open pretty much 24/7. Well, we're trying to take Sunday off now. So we're doing ourselves a favor and we're trying to take one day off.
So you're working a little harder on the other days in order to do that, or?
Oh, you're gapped. Yeah, you're running as hard as you can all the time, pretty much regardless. So we're getting a lot smarter and a little more efficient, and stuff's going quicker now. So we're doing stuff a little smarter. You have to mess up a bunch of stuff before you finally figure out, oh, this is the smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Mess up a lot of stuff.
After all this time, I'm doing it the wrong way.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just one day you're like, oh, I get it.
So much easier
That
way.
was dumb.
Yeah. Well, as long as it was working, right? Except you can be more efficient at what you're doing.
Yes.
But,
Yeah, I mean
know.
that's really where it all is.
It's kind of
You can only do so much, but at the same time, when you figure out how to, click this one button the right way or run this program a few minutes faster, I mean,
yeah,
like
it definitely
when I
helps.
first started processing like a 4x8 sheet, like some files would take 40 minutes to do, and I kind of figured out a couple things here and there, and sure enough, we went from 40 minutes on some jobs to 9. So I mean, that's a huge
shit.
difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
So if anyone doesn't already know, these are the two, I can say masterminds and the hardworking, amazing people from Focus Cubed Habitats, Ashley and Steven.
What up?
so I'm Ashley, he's Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God you clarified that. I was
with a PH. Yeah. Yeah, it's even worse. Like we were talking earlier, it's like Stephen with a PH and our last name's Howdy. It's Haude. It looks like Hod. So I've had a lifetime of just confusion. I've been Stephen Hod my whole life. It's like it's actually Stephen Howdy, and then they're like, people don't believe me at all. They think I'm jacking with them. Every substitute teacher hated me. I'm like, that's really how you say it. I promise.
Yeah, it's
Then you
pretty
figure
bad.
People don't care, and I'm like, oh yeah. Oops.
Yeah, I get into it where I have to spell my last name. It's like Billy Rose, R-O-W-S, and they go R-O-S-E. Even R-O-W-S. They're just, custom, just Rose, R-O-S-E. And it's like, nope. So
Sometimes
it is what
it's
it
too
is.
easy.
Sometimes, yeah. You can't make it too complicated.
It is what it is. But, yeah, I see what you guys are doing, and you guys are, like, killing the shows, the production, and the stuff you're making. I'm fucking super jealous. I'm like, damn, look at that. I'm just trying to find animals to put into some of your shit. I finally found 2, so I'm ordering 2 more. But, when I saw the quality of your work, it was just by Instagram. And I saw it, and I reached out to you guys, I don't know, maybe 5-6 months ago, and we had a Zoom call and talked. But, I saw your stuff. I'm like, wow, like this looks awesome. I mean, it's not just the standard cage or, enclosure. And I was like, this stuff's awesome. I love the look. I love, and then I went to the website and it's like, look at all this stuff. Look at the colors. Look at the features. Look what you can add. And, they even do custom stuff on top of this. This is nuts. And then it's sort of, that's what I do. I go through Instagram and I'll snap the picture. So I'll save it, but I do that 100 times a day, and then the thousands that I take, and it gets lost. And then I was watching MJ, one of his one of his lives, man, and it's like, yeah, and shout out to this and Focus Cube, and I'm like, oh my God, that's those people. I know. Fucking, I looked it up, and then I went back on the website, and I'm like, man, I got to call you guys. But
endless scrolling, and found it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it is awesome stuff. I love it. And then, the pictures, because you know how when you see something, like, everything's advertising and picture, like a Big Mac. You look at a Big Mac, you're like, man, that's awesome. You get it? And it's like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't look like the picture. Yeah. When I got the shit, because you were sending me pictures, it's like, oh, here it is, they're done, and oh, cool, it's just a lid. It's a lid to go on an Exoterra. How cool could it be? I mean, I got it here, and I'm like, holy, I didn't expect it to be that thick. Like, I couldn't break it if I tried. You know what I mean? I'm like, holy God, look at the quality of this. And then the way everything's routed, it fits in perfect. Even, how you went above and beyond from what I ordered and say, you know what? I put a few more little holes in the acrylic, the see-through top, just in case. And I'm like, I would never have thought of that. And you just went above and beyond it, and I love them. I mean, they're just phenomenal. Awesome. Yeah, and it's like, good. I can't wait to see something that's, legit, like in a whole enclosure and stuff. And I have it. It's just like, man, this is sick. So
yeah, people will fish a little bit with us. They're kind of like that. They don't know, like, oh, take nice pictures of enclosures. They might be, not quite what I think they are. And sometimes they'll buy like a replacement top for an Exoterra, and they get it and they're like, holy crap, this thing is machined perfectly. I mean, I spent forever, with a pair of calipers measuring everything. I cut it. I see if it fits, if it's loose or wiggles or isn't right.
He's not lying either.
I have piles of prototypes of crap that didn't work out everywhere. I'm like, I'm super anal about them. Like, it's got to be correct. And sure enough, people, they'll buy that one Exoterra replacement top, and they just go nuts after that. They're like, holy crap, this thing is cool.
I know where they're coming from, man. I mean, that's the same. Like, if I had more, I definitely know when I do get anything, I know who I'm calling. I mean, that's hands down. I mean, it is just quality. It's awesome. And, the attention to detail and everything is just, showing these guys. And, it's like, I get so, oh my God, look at these things. Yeah, you've already showed us 20 fucking times, Billy. Yeah, but did you see this? Yeah, 25 times too. It's crazy.
Yeah, watch that video when you took it out of there and you started twisting it, and I'm like having a heart attack. I'm like, I cannot imagine if this thing just exploded. And this guy's like, oh my God. And you're tweaking on it and it survived. I'm like, oh, that went awesome.
Well, it's got to go through FedEx, so.
Yeah. If they could ship it, to another country and not manage to destroy everything.
Yeah, no, super happy with it. It's awesome, and I'm looking forward to more stuff. And I love the design and stuff. So how did you get started? Did you do this to build your own? What's your background? I mean, how did, Focus Cubed Habitats come to be? How long?
Well, as far as the actual enclosure part, that's been, we've been going like a year and a half. Yeah. I mean, we are fairly new, we didn't start doing this as like hey, I've got a great business idea. Let's make reptile enclosures. I started watching YouTube videos of a guy who would make computer parts. He'd make distribution plates. So if you've ever seen like a water cooled computer, it's the big clear component and it's made out of thick acrylic. And I was watching a guy, machine it. And I'm like, hey, CNC, that's pretty cool. I'm like, how does he use it? And then he's kind of showing videos of how he does the CAD drawings and then how he does the cam to operate the machine. And I'm like, I want to try that. So I bought a small, like 3x3, actually smaller, it was like 30x30, garage, CNC machine, just something to kind of play around on, super light duty. And, I figured out how expensive acrylic, anything clear plastic is high dollar. I'm like, well, I can't destroy that. So I bought, pretty much the next worst thing, which is PVC. And it was soft. And I knew if I, messed up and I crashed the machine, I'm not going to destroy it. So I'll practice on that. And of course, Ashley, she is the reptile queen, and she has animals in every room of this house. I was like, okay, let me make an enclosure for one. I'm sick of looking at, all this other boring stuff. So I'm like, I'll try it. I'll make some squares. How hard can it be? And dude, it was hard as crap. I mean, all I did was mess everything up. Couldn't figure it out. I managed to make one straight slot in a piece of plastic that I cut with a table saw. And then, nothing fit. And it pissed me off so bad. I kept going. And we finally made one box that stayed together. I was, super amazed. And she was vending shows at the time. She's actually selling crested geckos. And I was like, well, I'll make a couple boxes and we'll take to show just for the hell of it. We'll see what happens. And we made a 15x15x30. and we made a 24 cube. So, pretty much a gecko enclosure, and then like a green tree python enclosure. And, they were super trick. They had all kind of colored fronts and windows. And that's when I was like, hey, let's make perches out of carbon fiber. I mean, all this stuff. And we took those to the show, the first round, and we actually sold a couple of them. We had a bunch of inquiries, and, I was like, well, this is something. So then we made a website, and it's ballooned out of control from there. I mean,
that was like
nuts.
ReptCon February 2020. It was like right before everything shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Big momentum, and then, oh shit, COVID.
Well, I mean, it wasn't any momentum really. We just had that one show and we're like, hey, this actually kind of works. Like we sold more enclosures than I did crested geckos. And it was exciting to see that people were recognizing Steven's designs and that they wanted to purchase them. So we were like, well, maybe this can be a thing. And I mean, COVID really wasn't on the horizon, at least that we knew about. And then, it was.
Yeah, because we were both grown-ups. We had real full-time jobs. I mean, we clock in every day and clock out. I mean, we're just normal people, and that's kind of, we got busier and busier, and we'd get home from work, and after we made the website, people started ordering on it. Every time I'd get an email, I'm like, what is going? Like somebody actually bought something.
Yeah, we had 2 models. We had
and then somebody else bought something, and then somebody else bought something. I'm like, oh crap, So we'd come home from work and we'd try and cut stuff in the garage in the dark, and we'd, kind of assemble it the next day after work. And it just kept getting crazier and crazier. And
then
the
late nights.
Oh yeah, it was absurd. And then sure enough, the COVID stuff really hit, and my employer, they sent everybody home. They said, hey, they say 2 weeks. We don't know what's going on. Everybody's going home. There's no pay. You just gotta leave. And I thought, you work at a job because it's secure. Like, it's going to be there. You're going to have a paycheck. And sure enough, I realized just like that, it can all go away. So I'm like, why would I not do something for myself? I'm like, we've got a little fire going here. I mean, it's starting to glow. I'm like, just, whatever. I can find another job. I'm not unemployable. I want to try it. So I quit. Everybody was stunned. They're like, you're leaving your job to go make houses for snakes? I'm like, yeah.
Well, back then I thought it was just for
pretty much.
I thought roaches. It was for bugs. Yeah, because I'd made one myself and I had it on my desk to work. I was a finance manager at a motorcycle dealership, and on my desk is like a kind of icebreaker thing. I had an enclosure, PVC enclosure that housed a Asian forest scorpion in it, and of course it freaked everybody out, and they started calling me the bug man and stuff. And customers would come just to see the guy with the bugs in his office, and then I had roaches in one. So I had all these hissing cockroaches. I mean, it was really silly. So they thought I quit my job to make bug boxes. So that's what they all called me. I was the bug box guy. And they're like, well, good luck with that. I don't know if that's a wise financial move for you, which they might be correct, but I was on it. I was going to try it. And I have not had a not busy day since.
That's amazing, man.
And I sadly drug her into it. So she was an adult too. And I'm like, you got to quit your job, bro.
I need you.
I'm dying.
It was
awful.
Yeah. We actually had, I worked at also another dealership, an automotive dealership. And I was a parts supervisor, and, it was 9-10 hour days there. And then I'd come home and, he'd be panicking because we'd have to finish something before, like the next day or something like that. And we'd just have to work through the night, and it had to be perfect. So every time it's kind of that learning process. If we messed something up, we had to go redo it all over again. So that learning curve was pretty intense on top of a full-time job. So yeah, I think it was you left in March of 2020. Mm-hmm. And then I actually was like, I don't know, I guess December. It was November or December of 2020. It was when I said goodbye to my job that I had been there for like 7 years. And,
wow.
Everybody was also stunned. And no, we haven't stopped running since.
Mm-hmm.
No, I see that. Now that's amazing. And I'm sure, when someone does actually, I can't go and touch it and see it. I mean, that's one thing is everybody, your customers that come to the shows, when they can see it, touch it, look at it, and see the options and go, wow, like this is impressive.
Yeah, and that's what happened. So many people would come to shows and they're like, I just had to see it. I mean, they'd come there, they touch it. You'd see them running their hands on it. Every edge was square, and they were just amazed. I mean, they were just, I thought it was cool in pictures, but I needed to actually see for myself where I spent the money. And sure enough, I mean, no one's come to a show to look at it and went, it's not what I thought, and left. Usually they are right there ready to rip.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
No,
and I love it.
You see pictures, you don't know.
Yeah. And when I got mine, I'm just sitting there like, I knew it was a fucking lid. Like, you know what
It's
I mean?
a flat.
And you see how excited I got over a damn lid? It's a lid. It's a lid for a spider enclosure. It's a little Exoterra, and I'm just like, wow, I just love it. It's crazy. I mean, I think I'm going to live in the enclosure, the very first one I get. I'm going to stay in it for a week or so before the animal and just enjoy it a little too much. But no, I mean, quality's amazing and it's great. And I'm glad you guys are taking off, and it's overwhelming because I know myself, I didn't do it as a test. It's just I needed them. I'm like, wow, let me see. I'll reach out. Let me do it. Now I know my next enclosure is coming from you, and when I get it, I know I already know what it's going to be like. So, repeat business is going to be coming at you and at you and at you all the time, which is great. And it's something that
most of our business
it is most of it, yeah.
For us to have been in business a year and a half, most of our stuff is repeat. I mean, it's crazy how many people come back. Very rarely if somebody bought something and went, just, okay, whatever. I mean, usually it's like an onslaught afterwards. You get one order, you fulfill it, and sure enough, you see the same name again, and there's just a list of stuff they bought. You get that email, and you're like, whoa, they're redoing everything.
Yeah.
And that's cool coming from, like, as a keeper myself, and now we are both keepers. We kind of know, like, what people are looking for. And like the replacement tops, those have been a huge hit because it fills a need that people that suits their animal. So it's not necessarily that we are looking to always sell enclosures or whatever. We're looking to provide solutions for what animals, what people are keeping. So that's been the tops. I really enjoy personally because I have the crested geckos. So if you use an Exoterra, and we haven't converted everything here, and honestly, with the tops, I mean, it works great. You can use a Miss King. You can, kind of work them into however you want to keep.
Mm-hmm. What's amazing is I was blown away. I've showed people. There was someone that posted, and I always go on YouTube and look through some stuff. And there was a guy that did a DU. I always say DUI.
DIY.
A DIY, yeah. See, I always say, like, it's a guy that's a DIY. Why are you watching those type of videos, Billy? No. So,
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, a DIY, a do-it-yourself video. And they would take, like, one of those big tubs you get from, Walmart, and they would put it on their side, and then they would build, like, some sort of wooden frame and glass, and they sort of made it where, hey, you can take these and use the back, and then you just make the front with sliders or whatever. And then I saw you guys came out with those snap-on ones where I'm like, holy shit, does this ever look awesome? I mean, wow, taking it to the next level. It's perfectly fit. It snaps on. You can open it. You can put the vents wherever you want. I was just saying, this is insane. Just so amazing.
A suggestion we got from, was that John Irby?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, hey, dude, he messages me every now and then messing with me. And he's like, man, you build some weird stuff. It's like, what about this? And he sent me a link to like pretty much a DIY thing like he did a few years ago. And he's like, I think you can do this, but you can kind of do it your own way. It'll look cool.
Cube style.
Right. So I was like, oh crap. I think the next day we went and like grabbed one of those tubs and brought it to the shop. And I was hyper focused on it. That's all I kept doing. I kept cutting them, fitting them, like, this sucks. This doesn't work.
Once again, lots of them.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I still have debris upstairs from them. And sure enough, we found one that worked. And I mean, the first day we like launched them, we showed people that we had them. It went nuts. So, I mean, we sold a bunch of those things.
Amazing.
And that's just, if you need like a throw down little enclosure, you need something to transport an animal in, not necessarily a permanent home, just something to toss in there. You don't have to worry about it so much. You can slide it on its back and beat it up. It's a great option. I mean, it vents. It's actually, the way you install them is you put a little silicone bead around there and you lay the front on it. And I've got a bunch of screw holes made into it, and it comes with little bolts, and you bolt it onto the front. So we fill that thing with, I mean, I don't know how many pounds of dirt. It doesn't flex. It doesn't give. I mean, it makes the tub stout as crap, man. And
Focus cubed approved.
Oh yeah. What's funny, you were talking about like, buying animals and stuff. I'm like, we've bought, I don't know, several animals just to test enclosures in. So I've got, my little employees working for me. I'll buy one. I'm like, I've got an idea for an enclosure. I'm going to show everybody that it works. And sure enough, I'll put a little guy in there. I'll set the enclosure up and dial it in. So, we try not to guess on as much stuff as we can. So we really try and actually test the products. We don't just like draw up some pretty crap on the computer and hope it works and you figure it out,
No, it's awesome what you do. And when I saw that, I'm like, wow, take it to the next level. It just, it's something you'd never really think about. And then I see you do it. And I'm like,
it's like, people will just forever stare and freak out, try and figure out what kind of animal they want or which one they want or who they want to buy it from. And they'll spend thousands of dollars on an animal. And then they just kind of haphazardly toss it in a black box. And yeah, that was the end of it. And they look at it every now and then. I'm like, there's more to it than that. I'm like, the animal's a part of it. The enclosure's a part of it. All the equipment you're going to need for it. It's all something that you got to factor in. And it's like, why shouldn't you have nice stuff that looks good and fits well? Why should it be, so you care so much about the animal. And then it's like the enclosure's an afterthought. And I'm like, it really needs to be part of it. So that's what we're trying to do. Make it part of it. So it's a whole experience. It's not just buying the animal and then, I have to buy this other crap to keep it alive. It's all part of it.
What is your most, sought after enclosure type? Green tree enclosures?
I'd say for the most part, those guys picked us up super early because we were beyond nobodies, and sure enough, that group has really taken to us. So we've done a lot of work with a lot of those guys, dialing enclosures in. We've sold tons and tons and tons of arboreal enclosures for green trees and stuff like that. Like the perches, that was kind of a big deal. Like up until this point, pretty much everybody used a PVC water pipe from Home Depot. And I'm looking at that going, there's got to be something better than that. So we started using those carbon fiber tubes. So our perches are, we have a bunch of different kinds. You can get clear acrylic, colored acrylic. You can get colored PVC, but the big deal is all the carbon ones. So you've got a super rigid piece of material that you can get in an 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 15 millimeter, 20 millimeter. And sometimes we take, custom requests for sizes larger than that. So you have a bunch of different options instead of just, half inch or 3/4 inch.
Well, that's the thing. It's actually size. It's not so like with the Schedule 40 PVC that you just go pick up at a hardware store. That's going to be the internal diameter of what the water or what the liquid has to flow. So a half inch is actually going to be more like a 3/4 inch when you're actually. So if once again, a lot of the arboreal keepers keep some pretty amazing animals, very high dollar, and they put them on a PVC perch, and it could not be, if they're young, it may not be the right size. So part of what we were trying to do with the carbon fibers, yes, it's extremely rigid. And it's actually, we take calipers and they are, to the millimeter. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to, like we have a neonate that we're using with 8 millimeter perches, and the little, I always call them kids, but the little kid perches on it, and he can have different, selections and stuff. So actually the sizing of it is often overlooked if you just use a PVC perch that you go find from the hardware store. So it's, once again, trying to make it a whole rather than, just going and grabbing something,
Yeah, that'll do.
Trying to give people options. That's a big deal too. We don't tell people what to do. We don't say, hey, this is what you need. We give everybody lots of options and they can choose for themselves. Cause I don't think there's, one way to do anything. So I try not to, tell people what they should or should not be doing. So it's like, hey, here's a bunch of different options. You figure out your style, or if you want to do something new or experimental, you've got a lot of different stuff to choose from on the site. You can mix and match stuff however you want, and you can try something different. So there's a lot of people who'll give, kind of unsolicited advice. And if you don't know, if you're a new keeper or something, and you're like, oh, well, the guy who sells the boxes told me I have to do this. It's like, that's not necessarily true, So we try and, have everything available as much as we can. So you got, whoever's keeping the animal can kind of work through it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have a big write up on the website just it's convenient for people, because once again, we don't know, what the parameters are at that person's home or wherever they're going to be keeping the animal, who they got the animal from, what their keeping experience is. So it's tough to actually recommend everything for somebody you don't know their skill level. And so we just give lots of options, and we walk, every product through, like a little blurb. So everybody can kind of decide, okay, this suits me for my animal and my experience level. So that tends to help.
Yeah, I like all the options, the colors, the extra windows, the screens, the interior, exterior. The options are. It almost pisses me off because I'm like, no, maybe I should do this. No, maybe if I do this, I do this. It's like, fuck. It's taking me a while to figure out what the hell I want because, it's such an it's almost like a piece of art that I want it right from the start. It's like, oh, you know what I should have did? I should have done this. So I'm trying to make it perfect, but I love it. Even the color of the handles and it's just, it's just crazy. I mean, I love what you're doing. It's all custom. And if you look at some of your enclosures that you have on display on the website, it's like, oh my God, I love the smaller double window. And then there's the bigger window. You have the slider, I'm looking at that too. I'm like, should I get the 48 by 20, 24 by 24 with the slider? No, I like the one with the two, I guess they're 16 or 18 inch doors with the 9 or 12 inch window. That's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's so cool. I mean, it's just, wow. I love it. I mean, to me, it's, you're taking something that we've always had that's just been blah and adding a flair and someone's personal taste and touches to it. And I think it's amazing. And it's the perfect time now where the hobby and the industry is just blowing up and people are understanding like, hey, we're spending big dollars on some of these animals. Why fucking, cheap, shortchange them on their enclosures, especially when you're looking at it. Like, most people have them in their home. You don't want to have some rickety, rackety thing that's like, oh, cool. But no, like, don't mind this horrible thing. But inside is this amazing animal. It's like you keep it in that shitty thing. I mean, you want to have some, an amazing enclosure to be proud of and then look in. Like,
and people who don't know anything about a reptile too, it's like, when they think of one, they see a glass aquarium and some, like sad bearded dragon under a French fry light, toasted in there. And it's like, that's not the image you want to present. So
true.
If you've got an animal at your house and you have a reptile family member come over, they're gonna be like, what is this thing? And then sure enough, it kind of invites the conversation and you realize it doesn't have to be this, weird thing you're hiding in your closet when the family comes over. It's going to be in the middle of the table and everybody's going to have to look at it. So our house is like a zoo. I mean, people come over, like somebody comes over to work on the house. They stop and we have to take them through the house and show them all the stuff because there's just animals and enclosures everywhere. And if it was just in some, sad old glass tank, no one would ever ask. So
no, that makes total sense. Now, us ball python people, I mean, there's a whole shit ton of us. Have you been bombarded? It's like, hey man, when are you making racks? When are you making ball python racks? Have you been nailed by all of us psycho people?
All the time.
And
all the time. It's like, you making racks? And I'm like, man, well, first off, it's a time thing. I'm like, if I had just tons and tons of time, I wouldn't mind doing some different stuff like that. But I'm like, we are just so slammed with enclosures. I mean, that's kind of our main focus. We've built a couple racks here and there just for the heck of it. And I'm like, they just don't get me excited. When I do them, I'm like, I put them together and then you put them in a box and they go away. I'm not like excited while I'm doing it. So I don't know. Maybe one day, but right now we're sticking to the cool boxes.
Okay. Another question.
Okay.
What about displays for animals at expos?
Yeah, we've had a lot of inquiries for those, and that's something I'm sure we will do. So we've actually got some enclosures in the process now that are going to be basically show displays. They're kind of regular enclosures, but we've got some stands they're going to be attached to, so a guy can take them to shows and kind of show off his animals there. So he's going to have, a really wild setup. And we're actually working on some smaller mobile enclosures for rattlesnakes. So we're working on something. So
yeah, like an educational kind of setup there. So it would be kind of similar to an expo, a reptile expo. So yeah, a little bit more portable. So, there's lots of ideas floating around, but it's mostly just that we have our nose to the grind on what we have ordered.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. It's like as soon as we get kind of caught up with that backlog, I have ideas out the wazoo to come up with stuff. And I'm like, I just don't have the time to do it. I'm like, I don't want to spend all day on the computer making new stuff and neglect the people who've already ordered. So I'm like, I need to fulfill those commitments and then I'll let that stuff out. So it just gives me a little longer to think about stuff and kind of, daydream in the off time, but I've got a bunch of ideas for all kind of stuff.
So many, like we,
all day long. I'm like, hey, Ash, what about this?
We're
And
always
it's like,
talking about
okay,
something
back to
new.
work, man.
No, that's awesome because I mean it's great that you're excited about what you're doing and you're designing and you know I can tell when I talked to you the first time and you know Ashley's sitting there going, yep, you know, yeah, he really does it like that. You know, you're you know OCD or it has to be perfect and you know nope, it's not perfect. Next one, you know, and you get and you grind to get the perfection. And I think that shines through in your product, and it's great that you know everything that you guys stand behind it is just awesome. Now, you said you first started this out in your garage. Mm-hmm. I noticed that was it maybe 7 months ago. You got this big empty, big you know I don't know how many square feet, but this big metal building. And now it's filled and jammed and you know, getting worked in all the time.
It's half the size we need for sure. I mean, we did it was over a year. Everything was, the computer was in the bedrooms where I did all the design. So if you've bought, you know, anything from us 6 or 7 months ago, it was designed in my bedroom. It was cut in the garage, and then we built it in the dining room of the house.
This room.
Yeah, literally the room that we're in now. This is where
production
tons and tons of enclosures have come through.
Awesome.
Yeah, so then finally I'm like, we have 18 wheelers. I mean, rolling up through the neighborhood. So we're just in a neighborhood right next to a lake, and it's full of these retired people who are interested in things being calm and quiet. And you got a vacuum system running in the garage, holding down material, cutting stuff. There's 18 wheelers showing up outside. We're loading them stuff up. U-lines showing up at 7 a.m. honking the horn, dropping off pallets of packing material. I'm like, people just come outside and they would just stare at us. They just walk out of their house, 18 wheelers show up, and they would just look at us. And I'm like, this is awkward as crap, man. We can.
There's that bug guy. There's the bug box guy.
What do y'all do all the time? It's like, oh, you don't want to tell them, and it's like, oh, you're trying to avoid it, and you're trying to act like you're not doing anything. And there's pallets of stuff strapped up outside, and I'm like, oh, because we used to take all the photos of everything in our front yard,
in front of our tree.
Yeah, they're driving by in golf carts and stuff, and there's these weird splatter painted, wild looking like cabinet things outside, and they're just driving by like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Crazy.
Yeah, the entire house was covered in enclosures. When you talk about living the life, it was literally 24/7. I mean, you'd have to walk around the enclosures that you had in queue and pieces and everything and trying to keep everything organized. It was a nightmare. It was so frustrating, and it put such a strain on just living life that it was like, we have to get it out of the house. We have to have some kind of separation.
Yeah, every room in our house except for the master bathroom had enclosure parts in it.
Yes,
every single room,
2-story house,
hallways,
all the upstairs,
everything, bathrooms. I mean, it was nuts.
And that's the grind, though. That's the thing. You wanted something and you made it happen. You did what you needed to do, and people don't understand. It's like, oh, you know what? Until I get this, until I get that, I won't even bother starting. No, you fucking get in it and get dirty and figure out. And then that's what I mean. Like people are like, until I can buy an ARS rack and have all this money to buy animals, the right ones. And then 7 years later, they've never done shit. You know what? Get in and start doing it now and get that momentum rolling and stuff. And it's awesome. I mean, I love seeing where you guys were and the story behind it. And now where you are, like what, a year and a half, 2 years in? Night and day, and now you need a bigger building. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. As soon as we moved in, we needed a bigger building.
Yeah, we started putting stuff. I'm like, this will work out great. We put the machine in there and all the plastic. We're like, holy crap, this isn't even close. I mean, so we still our entire upstairs is still full of packing material, all the the LEDs, all the Arcadia stuff, all the heat panels. I mean, our whole upstairs is full of that stuff. We call it our
stock room.
Yeah, it is hoarders central up there. It's crazy.
It's bad.
That is super cool though.
What we need, and we carry all the stuff downstairs. We put it in the truck, and we go to the shop. We cut stuff, assemble it, put it all together, and ship it. So it's working great for now, but definitely more spaces do need for sure.
Yeah,
No.
especially if this is going to get this much bigger. I mean, we're already right busting at the seams.
Yeah, the streamlining of the shop really helped, I guess, increase just for the two of us, have, I guess, gain that, what do you call it? The efficiency that we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
That was a huge deal, is just getting the shop, even though it's kind of small. And now we have so much plastic that we didn't plan on getting just because of the shortages. I mean, that's taking up half of the shop that we didn't plan on. So there's that part too. So it's like you have to kind of bob and weave. You have to figure out, what's
100%. And I think that's good, because it'll if you just go into a business, or I'm going to buy animals and breed, or I'm going to do this, and everything's going to be perfect, and it just keep walking forward, and everything's going to come the way I want it, you're fucking wrong. Nothing happens the way you want. And it's like, it's what makes you stronger and better for, like you said, bobbing and weaving, and holy shit, I got to go back and retrace my steps. And even you guys now are saying that, hey, you know what, we've done a lot of things now, and now we've found a way to do it better and faster. And you wouldn't have done it if you just, didn't put the work in. And you probably find more stuff to get better and faster at, and say, holy shit, I can't believe, why didn't I do this 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or even last week? It happens all the time to all of us. And that's what makes success, is you learning and doing what you need to do, learning, getting better, and finding ways to be more efficient and cost effective, and keep growing and moving forward and enjoying what you're doing at the same time. So
yeah, that's a huge thing, is being able to enjoy it and actually have it be a part of you and not be a burden. So that's what a lot of, I've been breeding crested geckos probably now for 6 years or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And my monitor project as well, it's about a 4-year-old project. And I mean, I got them as hatchlings. So we've still got a long way to go there. So it's like, as somebody who also breeds, it's like that the work that you put in is what you get out of it. So, you keep on it, because with the animals, you can't stop. You can't not take care of them. And that's the thing, is I guess the momentum that we have with the enclosures is like, you can't just stop. If something's going on in your life, you still have to keep plugging away at it. And I think that's really why that we've been successful, is because when we've had lots of, down moments, but we just keep going through it. And it's like, oh, that's the brilliance of it, is once you get out on the other side, you're like, all right, now we have to keep going and getting better and doing more.
No, 100%. And people don't understand the grind, or they hit an obstacle and they're like, and they stop. And then, you know what? Get over the fucking obstacle, no matter how long it takes or what you need to do. And then when you do, you feel like, oh my God, I did it. And oh my shit, look what's on the other side of this obstacle. Fuck, I'm so glad I fucking defeated it and jumped the fuck over. Some people just, there's a wall, and they turn around and go, well, what the fuck you doing?
So many people told me, man, I want your job. And I'm like,
No,
okay, you could quit your job. You can risk everything, and you can work all day, every day. Just get whacked right in the mouth constantly, just stunned with weird problems you'd have never thought existed. And you can, fight through it. You can do it too. It's just, you got to do it. I mean, you got to be not scared. The second you are scared doing anything, you are freaking toast. I'm like, you got to go for everything, every opportunity, every chance. You can't let anything slip. I mean, you got to be on it.
No,
And especially crazy now. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, now, I know that you guys, I saw one of your, when I do have a chance, I saw you guys get like a whole shitload. I don't know, it was like pallets and pallets of PVC or acrylic or whatever it was. Now, with COVID, how has that affected you? Prices gone up, big delays. Has it really affected you guys? Or is it sort of like, it's still manageable? Or is it like, if I didn't order this stuff now, I wouldn't be making cages? Or
That's actually exactly how it is. So it's COVID, and then Texas had the freeze in February.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was a huge thing. And you guys up in Canada, it's always cold there, but it's never that cold here. And the whole system just went down. So there's actually still petroleum plants that are not back online now. And what is it? Almost August. Yeah. And so that's actually been a huge part of the shortages of PVC. Is a lot of the primers went to what we were talking about earlier, the PVC pipes, because so many things burst And so many houses, there's even new constructions, old houses, all that had to be repaired. So it was basically, like sheet goods, which you use for the enclosures and sign materials and stuff like that. They were at the bottom of the list. So you have, all the stuff that like to get people's homes back online.
Right.
Plus you have the downed plants. So they're still not back. So the shortage of PVC is a major deal. And it's definitely almost a backbreaker if we wouldn't have had gotten ordered or gotten ahead of the kind of, I guess the ball there. That could have been.
Yeah, we had a plastic order. It was supposed to take like 2 months to get. It's like no big deal. The 2 months had come. We still had plastic, and it's like, oh, well, it's going to be another month. It's like, okay, so we waited, and another month went by, and I'm like, where is the stuff? I'm like, we are running out of plastic. It is busy, and we are running out of stuff. And it's like, well, there's another brand in the U.S. that makes plastic. The stuff was like, I don't know, 20% more expensive or something.
Yeah, more than that.
Or more, 20 to 30, somewhere in there. And they're like, you can either buy it and you'll get it in 6 weeks, so another month and a half, or you can do nothing.
And wait, try and see.
Yeah, and still to this day, that manufacturer hasn't made any plastic yet, the original one. So if we hadn't taken that, jump, we would have nothing. We'd be sitting here, picking our noses, pretending to have cardboard boxes and crap behind you. We spent tens of thousands of dollars on plastic. I'm sure some guys, spend six figures like it's no big deal. But I mean, we spent tens of thousands of dollars on material. We made several trips, many trailers picking that stuff up. And of course, we don't have a forklift. So we moved thousands of pounds worth of plastic by hand.
No shit.
We'd show up with the trailer. We'd unband it. We'd pick up, those sheets are probably 50 pounds a piece. We'd pick up 2 at a time. And we just huff it. Just put them in the shop, put them in the shop. We'd get back in the truck. We'd drive back down. We'd get more. We'd come back and we'd do it again. I mean, it was stupid, but we have, plastic stacked higher than crap in there. So it's like, I can't take this risk.
Yeah, that's our cash flow savings. Everything went to go towards that because it's something that we believe in. And we were like, we have to do this. And it was taking a risk because we'd never worked with this plastic before, but it actually, it turned out great. We got, we got our order that we put in and, we're continuing to go and grind.
Wow.
Yeah, we know so many guys who are just stuck. They're waiting on plastic. They can't build anything. And, everybody's talking all this crap. Oh, these guys are, so-and-so's going out of business. So-and-so's going out of business. I'm like, it's a temporary thing. It's like, calm down.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a manufacturer of this, like if you're making, PVC racks or enclosures or whatever, and you are not constantly hounding every plastic supplier you can find, you are going to be screwed.
Yeah. We drove to another city because we found, just calling everyone out of state, in state, just to see if anybody had anything.
Yeah, we're in Houston, and we drove, I don't know, probably like 6 hours to get plastic. I mean, it was like half a pallet of plastic. I didn't give a crap. It's like, we're getting the truck. We're going to get everything we can find. And we got to the one place, and sure enough, they're like, there was a guy in Oklahoma. He bought all the PVC too, and he's making snake cages or something. I'm like, who is it? Who do we got to go fist fight to get plastic up there? I'm like, so everybody everywhere is just going berserk for PVC. So, the whole COVID stuff has made huge, crazy demand for reptile enclosures. So
Arcadia heat panels, that stuff's hard to get, but it's COVID's been just a part of it.
Yeah. So you have everything has crazy high demand and no one has anything. Everything is short. So you have got to be watching anytime anything comes available, and you've got to have the money to buy it. You got to pay for it and be ready.
Yep. No, I know that, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, even some of the suppliers for thermostats, I think it was Spider Robotics. They were behind like 4 months because they couldn't get some of the pieces that they needed to build. They had 3/4 or 80-90% of it, but they're waiting on 1 or 2 pieces that were back ordered or weren't. Like, wow, it's crazy. But I mean, I'm hoping, the world's, at least here now starting to open up, and it's getting a little bit better. So I hope, moving forward, you can sit back and go, remember that COVID shit? Remember what we had to do? Yeah,
so
thank
much
God
fun.
thank God like we don't have to do that anymore. But I mean, that's another thing too. There's a fucking obstacle and a hurdle that you guys like, what the fuck? Let's just give it up. We'll go, we're only a year in. It was fun while it lasted. No, you guys did what you had to do and grinded. And I know that moving forward, you're going to look back and go, I can't believe, look where we are now and what we had to do to get here. And I think that's another amazing thing that is going to, keep you focused and strong and know how to play the game and what to do and how to invest in it. So in case something does happen, you're going to be prepared this time. So
we're definitely all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this stuff it'll make you hard and it'll make you sharp. It's like, you got to be paying attention. It's like, man, if times were good and everything was easy to get and you could just, sit and hang out, you wouldn't know crap. Something like this would happen and you get smoked. But sure enough, like, you have no choice but to be on the gas, paying attention.
Yeah, the trial by fire. But I mean, now, we're I'm sure that there's going to be many, many more obstacles, but each time you're able to grow. I guess it's really just the story of anybody's life. Like what we're all talking about is life has its obstacles. And with the business, it's kind of, I guess, become life. So anybody who owns their own business knows that you dedicate a piece of yourself to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, lots of big pieces.
Yeah, lots of big pieces.
Yeah. In the back, was that VP Gaming or Racing?
Oh, it's a VP. It was supposed to be a neon sign that I bought and realized it was broke, but it's a race gas company. So we like automotive stuff. We like motorsports, so stuff that's loud, stuff
Sick.
that goes fast. And
is that like a jet ski in the back?
That's an old
little
JS
Kawasaki.
300. That's
350.
an old 300.
Oh,
Yeah.
300. Yeah. Old
So we
school.
love stand-up. Yeah, we love stand-up jet skis. So we've got a pair of carbon fiber skis. One of them's got a 3-cylinder 1200cc 2-stroke. It's ported. I mean, it's super high compression head. And then we've got another carbon fiber stand-up ski, and it's got a 1500cc 4-cylinder in it, out of like a SXR 1500. So like a big stand-up ski. So they're about 160-ish horsepower each, and they're lethal. I mean, they are freaking lethal.
Yeah, weigh like 300 pounds. I mean, it is, we come from other motorsports like the sport bikes and cars and stuff, but there's really nothing that the stand-ups, I mean, they've been, once again, like a life changer. Well, that's kind of really where we were going towards before a lot of life stuff happened. But that a lot of the motorsport stuff and the stand-ups and the carbon fiber and the colors and everything kind of like jumped over. Stephen and I took that with us with the enclosures, is because that was, the high adrenaline excitement of those things kind of, it shows in the enclosures. And I guess it's part of like why you're proud of it too, is like, it's something that's like fun. It gets you excited.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I remember saying to myself, it's like, I think I said that in the first conversation I ever had with you guys. It's like, I don't even know what animal I'm putting in. I'm going to buy a fucking enclosure just to have it. And what's in the enclosure? I don't know. Hey, this is a fucking cool enclosure. I know, isn't it? Like, I could have one of your enclosures here and just look at it and love it without anything in it. I mean, that's what I love about it. And I mean, I'm a little crazy, but I really
not
do
that
love
uncommon.
Yeah.
We've actually got a guy who has, I think, 3 or 4 of them, and he has no animals. He's like, I don't know. I just got them on my desk and I look at them. He's like, they're cool. I don't know what I'm going to get.
Yeah,
yet,
so
but
you know what? I mean, I ain't the only crazy guy out there, but I mean, I really look at them and I'm like, wow. I do see the work in it, and I do see, the thought and even some of the things and the designs, and even, instead of having a perfectly square door, it comes over and then it's like super cool shit. And the way you can,
go ahead.
Yeah, so the way you can do the double color and you close the door, it's all white and it has a red. When you close the door, it's outlined in red. I'm like, this is sick shit. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah, it's a lot of Steven's, kind of brainchild there. He's definitely got the creativity that, he brings, the design. I mean, when he says he spends hours like on a corner radius, he's not lying. I watch him and I'm like, he's got more, I don't know, he's got more crazy than I do, because if I was staring at that screen trying to figure out, the radius of the corners and like how the door is, I appreciate it, but I'm definitely more on the animal side. So I get to watch him and kind of struggle with that. And I'm like, oh, It's a team.
Each one's got to have its own personality. So a lot of people, they'll want something custom, like I need it this by this by this. And it's like, okay, I can make something that's those dimensions, but I'm not going to like it. I'm like, I can make it fast. I can make a square box that size, no big deal. But I'm like, the time comes into like, it's almost got to talk to you. When I make it, I just change stuff. I play with stuff. I drop things down. I pick things up. I'm real particular about screw placement, like how far they are. Like, I don't know if I even have an enclosure that has evenly spaced screws. So they move away from each other at a different pace. And it's like, as I'm going through, I'm like, it's just got to speak to you. And if it doesn't, I can't finish it. So I'll come back and I'll scrap an entire custom enclosure, even though it's just, maybe like it's 2 cubic foot. It's nothing. It's a little box, just, a guy needs it. And I'm like, it has to have a personality. If it doesn't, I won't finish it. So
wow, that's awesome.
I got to fight through that. And, of course you have deadlines. You can't make people wait forever while you're trying to figure out how it's supposed to look. So you got to hump it to make something that looks good, that, it's something you'd want to show off, and it's got to work, and I got to get it done. So I spend a lot of time in front of that computer. A lot.
No, it's awesome, man. So, there's a lot of people a lot of people here have some of your stuff, and they're like, yeah, I love it. I got more coming. And I think that is amazing. It's definitely something I'm excited. Like, it'll be my first enclosure. And, actually there's 2. I'm going to get 2 right off the bat, but I know more is going to come. I just got to figure out what I'm doing with this stuff and where I'm putting it. But definitely showpieces. Like the one is for my Fiji iguanas. Can't wait.
Oh,
yeah.
So cool.
So yeah, I'm just like,
That'll be
wow.
so neat.
What is in this thing? Oh my God, look at those. Yeah. So
it's Billy's new house. Yeah. He's going to live in it for a while. That's what he said.
It's going to be used.
Yeah. What's in here? Hi guys. Like, what the fuck? Billy? Like, fucking laying on a pillow,
That'd be a video.
Hey,
that'd be a video. Billy lives in fucking focus cubed habitats,
There you go.
for the week.
Branch out into
24
real
hours.
estate. Yeah.
Oh, I should do a 24-hour live. Billy's
of there.
sleeping in it and waking up. And,
So
you know what I mean?
You could even try going to the washroom in it.
No. Why would I want to go to the bathroom in it?
Can't leave for 24 hours.
I'll hold it.
24 hours?
The doors do open.
Trust me.
yeah.
No, but if I
not
have to
still.
stay in it.
This challenge.
Okay, well, here's the thing. So think
24
about
hour
it.
We can
challenge.
flex some rules.
I would rather hold it than shit in it or do
give you
whatever
like
I got to do, and then I got to stay in it and smell it.
We'll give you a cup to piss in. Then we'll make
Oh, and then you can take it out.
Elias will take it out.
Oh, why Elias?
He's not here right now to say no.
Oh, okay.
You got people
Sure.
volunteering other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you
Sounds like
go.
a plan.
Sounds like a plan. But no, it's just awesome. So before we get into anything else, we have a segment of the show where we just give out awesome people shout outs for achievements that they've done. So let's do this.
Look what Elliot says.
It's time for shoutouts of the week.
What did Elliot say?
Wear a diaper.
Wear a diaper. Come on, Elliot. Do you really want to see me in a cage wearing a diaper? Really?
I think we do.
I don't know, man.
Might get some good super chats for that one.
Yeah. Wow. No. Well, I never say never, but no. So, first ever clutch. Okay. We have Sanders Family Reptile Exotics, 8 eggs to a normal to a cinnamon Mojave pinstripe granite.
Nice.
First ever hatchlings, Nixon Reptiles. Oh, cool. 5 hatchlings, Sunset Possible Het Clown to an albino spider. So double hets. Possible Het Clown. Wise Morphs. I think it's Morphs. Wives Wharfs? That's got to be Morphs, right?
Yeah, I think it's
I think it's Morphs. So it says, I actually said it right. See how?
Wise Wharfs.
It says Wise Wharfs with a W. It could be Wharfs, but I think it's Morphs. But I actually said it right instead of wrong.
Surprise.
I'm surprised. Oh my God, here we got some we'll get to the super chats after we give these people a shout out because they earn it, not like you people. Well, maybe not Jason, but like Chad, come on, dude.
Scary guy.
He's a scary guy. Anyways, I believe it's Wise Morphs, 7 hatchlings, Bumblebee times Pastel. Oh, and they're an MC fan in Romania. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Inked Lady Morphs, 8 hatchlings, normal time cinnamon coral glow. I think, remember, I screwed this up the first time. Is it booty or boot?
I think it's boot.
Boot? B-U-T-T-E, ball pythons. 8 hatchlings, fire desert ghost times lemon blast desert ghost.
Nice.
Cool. And now we get into Instagram. 500 on Instagram. We have SJS Exotics and BT Exotics. 1,000 on Instagram. We have a whole slew.
Oh, jeez.
Craft Brew Morphology. We have Mills Snakes. Wiseman Snake. Oh my God. Wiseman Snakes. Snake Man Wise. Hogtown Balls. Paul. Toronto guy. Ontario. Ridiculous Reptiles. Pagan Balls. Python Spawn, and Regan Renee Royal Pythons. We go to 2,000 on Instagram. Music City Balls and Martial Law Morphs.
Nice.
10K. Oh, you know who just hit 10K?
Who?
Come on.
Oh,
Who hit 10K?
for the Reptile Ward.
The Reptile Ward, of course. The Reptile Ward. And 500 on YouTube, we have Python Spawn. Congratulations.
Nice.
Here we have other. So Jones Royal Balls. Congrats on getting first rack. And good luck on your first breeding season. Oh, wow. Cool. First rack and first breeding season.
Nice.
Twins. Pure Genetic Jazz. Hit Twins. Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly, possible Leopard Clown Pied. Pos Leo Clown Pied, huh?
What is it?
I don't know. But they hit Twins.
They're clown pies?
Yeah, it's Clown Pied
crazy.
because it's 1 in 512 odds to hit the Super ODYB Leopard Clown Pied.
What were they pairing?
Yeah, double het to double het.
Holy cow, that's insane.
And with all the genes. Anyways. And then we have Artist of the Week. You know who Artist of the Week is? You have any idea, guys? You guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
You guys are Artist of the Week. I just read that now. Artist of the Week. Focus Cubed Habitats. Builds premium PVC enclosures for keepers by keepers. So
Crazy.
sick.
Now I can quit. That's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
That was it. I've
That's
made it.
super cool, man. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And
I
it is
tried.
art. And I mean, I'm telling you, it is. I mean, when I first saw it, I was just like, fuck, these are super cool. And you go on there and you get the colors, that splatter, non-splatter, the acrylic on top, shapes, colors of the doorknobs. I mean, it's you can even get different colored fucking focus cubed logos. Like, it's crazy. So
It's wild to see what people come up
Yeah.
with. You think everybody's just going to get a generic one, and it's like people are clever. I mean, I've had them build they'll order a stack of enclosures, and they're all inverses of each other, so they don't work unless you have like all 3 of them stacked up, and you understand it's a sequence and everything is the opposite on the other one. I'm like, people are pretty freaking clever when you let them do it. I'm like, I'm looking at stuff going, I didn't think of this. I could have not thought of that, and I'm like, crap, that I got to outdo them.
no, super cool, man. But yeah, definitely, that's cool. Artist of the Week.
Awesome.
It's probably a first, and maybe
First time we had them on.
first time we've actually had a guest who's also the Artist of the Week. It's first. You guys are
right.
first. Pretty
That's
awesome.
sweet.
And of course, we have a note from Callie. Thank you to everyone who's following or who followed MCMC Shoutouts on Instagram. 135 followers and counting. Many thanks to those who sent in shout-out requests and tagged us in posts. Stories for all tonight's achievements are live and can also be found in the highlights. If you're not following yet, the link is in the description below. Same with all your contact information and everybody we gave a shout-out to. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep grinding. Keep putting in that work, and it definitely pays off. And I'm sure I'll see you. You hit 500, we'll be shouting you out in months at 1,000, and down the road at 2 and 5 and 10 and
The million.
yeah. I mean,
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, we just hit 50,000, maybe about a month or two ago, and now we're, slowly hitting, 75 is, I guess, the next milestone, but I want to do 100.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hit 100. That's
We could
mine.
do it
And
this year.
no, I mean, maybe by next year.
All the new videos.
Maybe. You never
I
know.
think we could do
That's
it.
a lot of hard work. Starting with the YouTube, it's more work than people really
100%.
understand.
It
I've had
definitely
mine
is.
07.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what my degree's in is basically video editing and documentary and stuff. So the
Oh,
YouTube is
cool.
like a huge part of my heart.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it's something where, luckily we have Lord Elion on the team, and it's easy for us because he just turns the camera on and we just go. We don't do all the editing, so it's like, when
That's the fun part. Yeah.
yeah, when we first started doing it, it's like, okay, let's do it. Like, beep. Oh shit, I said it wrong. Oh, and it was like I would do maybe a half an hour of shooting, and he'd take 3 days to fucking edit it to put it together. That's how bad it was. I just turn the camera on, let's shoot it. You know what I mean? And just go. And that's how we've sort of adapted. And I don't know if we're the first to do that, but we're definitely someone that's, pretty constant at doing it, where, hey, turn the camera on. If we fuck up, we fuck up. Something happens, hey, it's there. It's us. It's simple. I don't have to change. Cameras on, cameras off. I'm still weird like this and hyper, and, some of this. We should actually have some more of this stuff, on camera that we do around here.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I think that's part of the allure is why people are drawn to it is because you're real. That's there's so many creators out there that you can have the polish, but it's like that's not real. It's like you want to be like with the person, and that's what's part of this, I guess, keeping the reptiles. It's a lot of human psychology, so it's really fun to see like how everybody interacts with their collection, and and like Stephen was saying, they come up with like these really neat like designs and how they want their enclosures set up. And it's very cool to see the keepers behind the animals. So I've always been working with the animals, but now that we've met so many cool people in person and online, and it's neat to see the people who share the passion, and also like the creators. It's fun to watch somebody that kind of shares your interest and like see their passion, so it's like y'all's videos, you can tell that you guys you're in it.
It's authentic. You can tell polished stuff, and it's like some guy's been just saying his lines over and over. It's like, can we stop this now? But if there's that human element to it, people mess up. You say something's a little awkward, a little weird. It's like, that's the stuff you got to post, because that's what people want. They want to see normal people like them, not
Well, I wouldn't say normal, because you can't really classify any of us as normal. I mean,
normal's subjective. So
it's subjectively
right?
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I mean, I just think this industry's been great. I mean, I've been in it for 20 plus years. It's definitely going in the right direction. The community now, I feel, is a community over the last several years. It's always been slowly moving towards that, but now it's strong. I mean, and what's great is, the animals and the knowledge and learning about the animals. And oh my God, like I'm looking through stuff and I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's sick. You can get one of these things. It's like so exciting to me. And I've been in this for so long, and I'm still seeing new species and new things. And I go on to some other people because now I want to get into lizards and stuff. And I'm looking, let me follow this guy. And I'm going, oh my God, what is this thing? Have you ever seen this thing? No, my God, that's so cool. And I'm still learning about new stuff. But when other people are coming in and they see the animals and stuff like that, and then there's a community that they can get involved with that's sharing and helpful and supportive and caring, it's like, shit, like this is even better. Where before, you went in and the fucking community sucked. Like it was like, but you know what kept you in was the animals and the desire and the want to learn and maybe have one. And it was great, but the community wasn't there. It was like crappy. So now when you have that amazing animal and the knowledge and everything that's there and the community, I think it's a win-win for everybody. And it's just going to keep this community growing and the industry growing. And I think it's amazing where we've come, and especially in the last 2 years and where we're heading. I think it's great for all of us and the new people coming into the industry and people like yourselves and other people that are taking what was just blah to another level, being creative, giving people more options, being unique, Because, you'd go into someone's, oh, cool, and then everyone had the same. Now it can go, oh, my God, look at this. And people can do different colors. They can have it customizable. Like you said, have everything in a certain way. It's just amazing. So now you can take not only your collection of what you're breeding and what you want to have or keep or have as a pet, you can also change and add, some sort of flair or uniqueness to the enclosure.
Yeah, and that's the future of this stuff. I mean, it's all changing. You're watching it happen right now. So, I mean, this stuff is all going to be probably nearly unrecognizable a few years from now. The way that people do stuff, the stuff they expect, the way that, the options that they have, the way that they keep, all that stuff's going to be different. So we lucked out and came in with our weird stuff at just the right time. And that's what everybody's after. So people want to do something different. They want to do something new. There's a lot of new people who are willing to try new stuff. So
yeah,
I think
100%.
This whole thing is it's going to change. So we're trying to be on the cutting edge of that stuff. So if something new and different comes out, we're trying to figure out how to operate it, implement it, and make sure people can get it. So we're trying to do stuff that's new. Don't want to get stuck. I change stuff all the time. I'm like, I want to stay moving. I do not want to get stuck. Yep.
And I love that the quality behind it is something that's going to, keep the momentum and everything moving forward, because, you're not going to put out crap just to put it out. I mean, you want to put it out and stand behind it and have people look it and touch it. And that's the thing what people don't understand. You go and you make stuff mediocre. You threw it together. Doesn't make sense, but hey, it works. It's sold, money in your pocket. Right. What's going to happen? People are going to go over and say, oh, my God, what's in there? Oh, wow, why is this like this? That looks odd. Yeah, well, it's not, a gap is off or the corner's weird or it's just not level. And then guess what? Oh, I'm not going to order from these guys. Like, putting something out just to put money in your pocket, if it's not quality built or have, if it doesn't meet your approval, it shouldn't go out. And because of that, because you could put something out and lose 10 customers because of the shit quality you have out. And people don't understand that.
It's so short-sighted. They're like, I need to get the money. I need to get this thing out. I can't spend any more time on it. It's got to go. Put it in the box and ship it. I'm like, dude, I will not do that. I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, that's probably about the worst thing you could do to somebody is to give them something that sucks, especially if, it's like, it's one thing if, you gave it your best shot and you guys had different ideas, but if you just willingly put out crap, I'm like, first off, people, they will not tolerate it. I mean, they are going to let you know if your stuff sucks. They will let you know fast.
And everyone else in social media, they'll let everyone else know too.
Yeah, like the worst thing I can imagine is getting, an email from somebody going, hey, I bought this thing from you. I was super excited and it sucks. So I'm like, I make sure that that's not a thing I'm ever going to have to open up the inbox and go, oh, somebody just hates their thing.
Well, you might. I might give you an email like that. I came in, I opened this the 2 new ones, and I'm going to sit there, man, you know what? I got these things, I'm really not impressed. This sucks. And you're going to go, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, I didn't order 5 more.
Yeah.
That's why it sucks. I want more of the fucking things.
Yeah, there's always a fix to that.
Well, it's like interesting that as you're a breeder, and if you don't follow something that you work on a project that you're proud of, right? And you end up putting out some mediocre animals, and it's like that becomes part of your name. And that's not really, nobody says go, well, a lot of people go for the money. It's the same thing. So they just breed whatever they think is popular. But if you breed something that you enjoy, you're going to put that passion into it and you're going to have your name on it. So it's the same as the enclosures. That's why it's I guess our kind of theme is a lot in line with the way that breeders go about, or I guess passionate breeders go about, their collections, is to put the work in and create something that's quality. And if you like it because that's what you're passionate about. So if you're not putting out crap, basically. Yeah, and the same as your animals.
You've got to blaze your own trail. You can tell there is a cesspool of people who just try and copy each other. See one guy who's successful with something, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the same thing. Everybody's just, copying off each other and doing the same stuff. It's like, man, if you're not original and if you're not, forging your own trail, dude, you're not going to last. I mean, you're not going to go anywhere.
And especially if you don't give a shit about the quality or your customer or what you really got to stand behind that. Even if you're going to copy somebody, you better copy them and make it better and improve it and be a hell of a person that's, you know, customer care. You know, I mean, you got to elevate that to stand out over the next. But I think you're right. Do something different and unique and give the other people options where, you know, I mean, I would have ordered probably a while ago. The problem is like, do I do this? What color do I want? Oh, how many times have you sent me drafts of different colors? Hey, look at this and look at that. I'm like, fuck, now I don't know which one I like now. And it's just, I know I'm going to be happy either way, but
it's funny.
just
You
awesome.
can see like the analytics on our website, and you can see people pop up on there. You'll see somebody pop up in a town somewhere, and you can see like it'll show, you know, what enclosures they clicked on. You'll see people on them all day long. You know, they're just over there. You'll see them go to cart, and you'll see them change. You'll see them go back to cart. Like they're just constantly changing stuff and rearranging it. You can tell they're just analysis paralysis. Yeah,
Guilty. I'm fucking
It's
guilty.
funny. You can watch it. I'm like, somebody is struggling near New York, man.
Well, we have a couple super chats from a while back. You know, I just yapped too much and we forgot, but we're bringing it back. Ready?
You got Jason at Morph Mixology Reptiles. He says, hey, y'all, kudos to Focus Cube to staying with it and providing beautiful products. Too many people come and go. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're trying. We're hanging in there.
Yeah, we're hanging in. Whew.
And then fucking Chad.
Richie Recessives.
Richie's Recessives. Go ahead.
Says diaper fund.
So he basically put a super chat in for the diaper fund. You know?
That's enough to buy you a diaper. Maybe two.
Yeah, but the scary thing is that I actually think he wants to see me in a diaper.
I
That's
We
the
can
worst-
include
that's the
one
scary
with your
part.
enclosure order.
Yeah, there
it's
you
no
go.
problem. We'll throw one in there. We'll put our logo on it, and you can wear it the whole time. Man.
Yeah.
He's getting nervous now. Look at him. Oh shit! I got to do this now.
I've done stupider, crazier things in my life, so you never know, right?
24 hours in a reptile enclosure. Do it. Whoa,
He's looking so nervous.
Uh.
Oh, he's sweating. I should have never said anything.
That's crazy. Well, and that's the case, Matt. We should just we'll figure it out. You never know. You might, you know. It could backfire for you guys too, eh? It's like, oh fuck, you know, we were doing so well, we were killing it. Fucking orders were coming in. Wow, we were looking at buying a bigger property, and then Billy goes and fucking does this 24-hour shit, sleeping in an enclosure, and now no one wants our shit.
No.
Wearing a
What are you talking
diaper.
about?
Oh, I see this going way more wrong than right, and I'm like, I don't know if I care that much.
No.
I don't like to see it.
Sounds
out there.
entertaining.
This looks like fun.
A lot of hobos are going to be calling you guys asking for homes now.
Oh yeah,
There's
We'll help everybody we can, man.
focus cubed
with the heating
hobotat.
panels and when they're sleeping in the cold.
Yeah, the hobotats. It's a new division, eh? I get a percentage, eh? You know, me and Austin get a percentage, eh? Focus cubed hobotats.
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 Yeah.
It'd be awesome. You can make them where they can fold up with the handle and they can walk to the next city. You know, go underneath their bridge and build it.
Billy will never stay in another hotel again.
Hey, that'd be pretty cool. Have one set up at the expos, and then you just basically crash in your own hobotat.
Yeah, I've been living in this one a while. You want to buy it or what? Yeah.
Used hobotats.
Cool. Yeah, previously lived in by Billy from Mutation Creation. You know, add some
Right.
flair to them.
First one. Like,
You do it right. Yeah, that's a good selling point.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Oh, this is
I think it's
hilarious.
time for a water break.
Yeah, you do your water break. So, what else is going on, guys? Besides working away and stuff like that? Life good?
Yeah, I mean that's mostly it. It's just been work so far. We're trying to like catch up with life stuff here and there. So I mean, we've neglected, pretty much everything else. Maintaining vehicles, maintaining the house. I mean, just doing anything. I'm like, man, when you just go 24/7, you don't realize all the stuff that gets crazy out of control in normal life. So part of that,
Trying to
one-
get back to living again.
yeah, that one day a week off thing. We're trying to like live a normal life again, see family and do stuff. So it's like, holy crap, it's been that long since we've done like normal stuff. So we're trying to get back to that, I guess.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is, here in Ontario or even Canada, but I know in Ontario where I'm living, we just got out of lockdown, like literally weeks ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you could not go inside and eat in a restaurant for the last like 8 months. Like
That is
so,
insane.
even before that, it's been about 10 months, maybe even longer. I would say maybe close to a year that I have not gone into a restaurant and sat down and eaten and until last Monday when Paul from Seraphim Serpents, he was the in-house, guest or, person to come and hang out and just shoot the shit and listen to me yap and ramble like I do crazily. But we actually went, and it was like, to scan in, and then you scan the barcode, and you'd actually have to type your name and this, and no, I haven't been out of the country. No, I'm not this, I'm not that, and enter. And then they would go and sit you down, and then you have to scan the fucking menu. They don't give you menus because I guess you can cross. I mean, it makes sense, but it's like they don't hand you a menu. You actually go and scan it, and then on your phone's the menu, and you order it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. But it was so weird because I have not been in a restaurant for almost a year, and now that I am, it's so different now. It's just it's crazy.
Like a culture shock kind of thing.
Wow. I mean, just going and sitting down, I mean, it was so, wow, man, there's other people around. This is really odd. And then the way we had to go and enter, and then, you have to wear your mask until you get to the table. All the servers are wearing masks, and everything is almost touchless. And it's just, wow. I mean, it's a whole new world coming, but it is crazy.
Yeah. We're in Texas. So, it really, you didn't notice a whole lot here. You go to a grocery store and people wore masks and stuff like that. But as far as like everyday life, it had been jamming here pretty much like normal. Everything kind of shut down for a couple weeks.
During the initial, like that was like
right
a month
off the get-go, and that was really it. Other than that, it's been like normal life. We visited some family in Delaware, and leaving from Texas and going to Delaware, it was like you were transported to another planet. Everything was totally different. Everybody was, really concerned. Everybody was really serious about it. Where it is around here, you really couldn't tell much was different. So I'm like, I just couldn't believe that things could be so different. And then your experience, I'm like, that's even, wilder yet.
Yeah. I think
it hasn't been too weird down here.
Yeah. I think basically about 3 weeks ago, in and around 3 weeks or a month ago, they finally opened up gyms where you can go work out, hair salons, nail salons, like, for like, if the businesses are still around, that for 7, 8, 9 months that they weren't allowed to open, if they still have a business.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like talk about tough on businesses.
Yeah, when the government is saying that you can't, you're not allowed, and even here, we're an essential business into the sense that we have to show up and feed the animals and take care of them. But, we really couldn't have people over. Sometimes, this industry, most of our animals are shipped, but some people can come and we could do, they call it, curbside pickup and stuff like that. But it's crazy where February, I believe the 4th or the 5th, but anyways, February 2020 was the last time in Canada we had, or I'm pretty sure I can say Canada, but at least Ontario, we had a reptile expo. So February 2020 was the last time, and now the first one is this August. We're in August, damn it. In 20 days. Yeah, on the 22nd of August. So it's crazy. So we finally can actually go and have our first expo, but it's a lot different than the way it used to be. You have to wear masks, social distance, and they can't. So the way that it is now, say we have, you can't just sort of pass an animal over and then pass it back. So now we're going to have a sort of a way that, myself, Austin, and everyone else that here, the rest of the MC team, we're going to have to actually show you the animals. And if you want it, we package it up. You can't just sort of pass stuff back and forth, cross-contaminating or whatever. And I know it's the very first one, so there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be there looking and seeing how we conduct ourselves at the expo and maybe see where, things are going wrong and how to fix them for next time or for another trade show that's coming in, the following week. Saying, oh, well, this happened here and this was not good or this was really good. And now they can start sitting there so they can watch and see how the flow went and how people were reacting and what was good and what was bad, and then make it so that, like everything else that we do, learn from the mistakes, learn what's great, and then make it better and move forward. So 6 months from now, it's like, even if we're still in this, pandemic or whatever you want to call it, it's running a lot smoother than it did, like, August 22nd, the very first one we ever did.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
Yeah, the first expo we had back this year, it was kind of like that. They had some sort of government official there because it was in the Houston city limits. So you had to wear a mask. So pretty much it was a person sitting by the door who kind of cruised through there and just basically make sure people were doing that. So they just kind of were watching people
Capacity
and they kind of
limit.
remind you, hey, you're supposed to be wearing your mask if people weren't. And that was one time. And after that, it has been just normal life down here. We've been to several expos. I mean, you couldn't tell anything has happened anywhere.
Well, it depends on where you're at, but like at least the expos that we would visit, it was pretty wide open. Like he said, the one that was in the Houston city limits, it was a little bit different. But when you get kind of out into the smaller towns, it's a little less regulated, I guess, because it's also not as populated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, it's going to be, I had a little sort of expo or a sale here. People could come take a look at the facility. I did that like a month or so ago, where when we were opened up, I could have a limited amount of people inside, and everyone wore their masks. And then we went outside. I mean, it was great to get people finally together after a year and a half. But now actually going where many other people are coming in for, not just for ball pythons. They're going to go and see all other vendors, and there's, pick up, equipment or accessories, bugs, feeders, lizards, and everything else that's not ball python related. So we'll get to see more people, and more people are going to sort of show up and, sort of make it feel like we're almost getting back, like especially after the long lockdown we had. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time too, it's like, fuck, like, when you do things and you're just like, okay, no, I can't do that anymore. Oh, I got to stop. Oh,
the muscle
shit.
memory's there. You've got that anxiety of like, all right, what's going to happen, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure someone's going to sit there and go, you can't do that. Oh, sorry. I'm going to say sorry more times than anything else. Oops, sorry. Yep, sorry. So
it's pretty easy for us because we're fairly antisocial. So we just kind of hang out with each other, and our business is online. So it's like, nah. I'm like, this would have been a time we wouldn't have gone out and done anything anyhow. So I'm like, the effect on us has been fairly, minimal, just because we just worked and we just went home. So we
wouldn't go out.
I don't know what's
anywhere
going
normally.
on out there, but I know where we are. I'm like, yeah, it's the same old stuff every day. So, I feel for people who are, people who like to be, around people or go out and see people, business owners who have like restaurants and bars and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't imagine. It's had the opposite effect on them. Our business has gone crazy sky high because everybody's at home bored, and they just can click a button and they can order stuff, and we're fortunate we can make it. But man, if you rely on other means of making money, I can't imagine how hard that's been.
Yeah, it's been sad to see. You listen to a lot of, I guess, the national or more worldwide podcasts of like Rogan and stuff, and you listen to like the stuff that I guess the restaurant owners, like Stephen was saying, have to go through. And it's just, my heart goes out to them. It's not like I can't help them, but it's just like, if I was in their shoes, I'm like, they're taking it way better than I would.
Yeah. No, it is.
People persevere.
Yeah. There's so many family run businesses, like 50, 60, 70 years that they're gone. They couldn't, get through the pandemic or the lockdowns. And that's one thing that's been really bad here is, gym owners, restaurant owners. You can't go in there to sit down and eat, but you can go to fucking Costco and Walmart and fucking, be with thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the dichotomy there is just not it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, and then people made a stink where, well, it's not really essential, blah, 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 blah. So then they ended up taping off and closing off all the clothing, anything that wasn't essential. So you could walk into a fucking store, but you could go to the left side, but you couldn't go to the right side and buy clothing because you could get fucking COVID there or something. Like, I don't fucking get it. I never will. But, it's just silly. I mean,
Well, the whole thing, it's just been insane, a huge learning experience, but just seeing like the impact of it on people, like businesses and families and everything. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's, it was the right way to go around everything. I mean, everything's always 2020, but hindsight, but just seeing how like Steven, I mean, he basically, left his job because they were shut down and said, hey, we're not paying you. We're not making money, so we're not paying you. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, but you got to think how many entrepreneurs this thing has
100%.
spawned.
True.
Everybody is like, screw it. You're going to send me home. I'm here all day. I'm going to do my own thing. And you see, everybody's trying stuff. It's like, you don't know what's going to happen. So you might as well just, if you've been thinking about doing something, just freaking going for it. So I think that's kind of a positive that's come out of it is people have figured out they don't have to be tied to someone else to make their living or do what they want with their life. It's like, ultimately, you're in control of it. So I think it's given a lot of people the chance and the time to reflect and think about, hey, that thing we've been talking about, let's freaking do it. And I think we're starting to go for it. And that's, I think many small businesses have been squished during this. I think many more of them have grown from it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we're one of them. I would have never, if somebody's, you going to be an entrepreneur or business owner one day? I'd be like, no interest.
Yeah,
and now I'm like, just crush everyone, go run fast, and
it's like if you imagine going back to being managed by somebody, and it's like, I couldn't.
I don't know if I could do it again.
Yeah.
If I had to
go back to a regular
job,
job,
somebody walked into my office and said, hey, Steven, you need to get this done a little quicker. I think I'd lose it. I think I'd freaking lose it. So I don't know if I can go back. So I got to make it work. So that's why we're running so hard. I'm like, I can't do anything else now.
Choo.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too is when they were forced to stay home or they spent more time at home with their animals, watching podcasts, learning, getting on YouTube and researching and being a part of the community and starting to like, hey, you know what? I like spending time with my animals. I've got all this time now and I'd rather be doing this. And now they're looking and they're investing in themselves, in their animals, because it makes them happy. And, they can turn this, as a small little income. And some people are doing it where they're, having their collection turn into sort of like a smaller business. And some people just said, hey, you know what? It's time. Like, you know what? I'm going to do this full time and let's invest. And, everybody that's investing in themselves and putting in the work, loving what they do and doing it right, they're gonna, financially, their collection's gonna grow, their happiness, their passion. It's just taking it to another level because, like, the doors opened up. Like, if COVID never came in and everything wasn't like that, who knows where we'd be right now? Like, you'd probably still be working. It almost sort of kicked you in the fucking ass. Like, hey, you know what? Well, fuck this. If I have 2-3 weeks off, let me do this. And then, wow, I like this. It actually motivated them and pushed them in a direction where you may not have been doing this, or you'd be doing it from your garage here and there, making the odd little rack, and maybe eventually get to where, but not, you wouldn't have got to where you are now without, that push. And I think it's amazing. So
I probably would have stopped doing it because I'm like, take the standard job over the, self-employed thing. I probably would have not made any more. We probably would have given it up because we wouldn't have time. I'm like, I got to go to work. I got to go to bed. We got to get up. We're over this.
Yeah,
so that's probably one of the only reasons this is going now is because I was kind of like aimed in that direction. So it kind of pushed me there. But I'm glad it has. It's been way more fun. I mean, I've got to learn a lot about a lot of different people. I'd met a lot of people I'd have never met. You want to talk about reptile keepers being a misunderstood group of people. I'm like, they have been awesome. I mean, you assume it's just a bunch of, tatted up guys who just want to hold snakes and think they're cool. And it's like, these are some of the nicest, coolest, most helpful people I've ever come across. I mean, we've been parts of all kind of like little niche groups before. And it's like, it's just, a bunch of people trying to eat each other alive. The whole reptile community. I'm like, these people are actually super freaking cool. I mean, they really give a crap about the animal, and they care about the people. So it's been a huge eye-opening thing there, but it's just we're just running and gunning, trying to keep up with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would be nice to, well, it's always, you say it would be nice. It probably wouldn't be. We wouldn't have a job. but being so busy, there's so many things that we have that we want to create more content and do more YouTube stuff, but it's just like we can't lift off the gas on the production. I mean, there's so many things that we have in the works. It's like, as being a husband and wife team, you know, you're sitting around eating dinner, or you're going to bed at night and you're talking about enclosures, you're talking about ideas, talking about, you know, what breeding projects you have. I mean, like, we literally never stop.
Yep. No, I know, man. I know the feeling. Like, it's funny. You probably have dinner sometimes over your fucking, you know, what's the table called?
The CNC?
The CNC.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here you go. Fuck. You know, that's your dinner table many nights, you know?
Yeah. Video of us actually doing that. Yep.
Yeah, eating pizza is in there. Yeah. Domino's knows where we're at, man. They just show up.
Oh, yeah. We've given them a lot of money.
Now, I guess the reptile business has been busy for pretty much everybody everywhere. I'm like, I don't know anything about what's going on in Canada, but like, we had all the like little rounds of stimulus here. And I mean, people got their checks and dude, they went wild. I mean, they went nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you've been probably busier than normal. I don't know. But I'm just like, did anything like that occur in Canada? Were there any kind of incentive for people to spend money kind of out of the norm, or?
I'm not sure. I believe there was something like I'm not even sure. Myself, I did see a lot of sales from the U.S. Most of my sales are in the U.S. I'd say 80% of my sales are out of Canada. But I did have a lot of people now sort of come into it and say, I really want to take this to the next level. I really want to, you know, put the time, put the effort in, and you know, learn on how to take this, and maybe not be my size, but at least going forward and seeing what other people do. Because one thing when people had so much more time, they've come to these lives, these podcasts, watching YouTube, seeing people on Instagram, you know, buying a snake, having clutches, you know, getting their name out there. And they're like, wow, I mean, there's a lot of people doing this, and a lot of people are doing well. And you know, the money aspect people are talking about, like Miguel came out and you know, I do it more on my Patreon side, and I've done it in some lives. There's great money in this industry, and there's a lot more out there that it can be attained. And people have been afraid to talk about it as a business. And, you know, now people are sitting there watching and seeing what people are buying, and then watching their videos, seeing what they're making and going, wow, man, you know, people are making some fire here. And some of these animals are crazy. And then, you know, you call up, I sold it. Hi, I sold it. Like, wow. I put 2 animals up on Instagram, and I said, yeah, you know, I may just let these go. I sold 2 of them for quite a bit of dollars within 15 minutes. And you know, I could have sold another 5 more. I don't have any more, but it's crazy, the industry in the market right now.
It just jumps.
That's the same way with, you know, my animals that the crested geckos. They're very high end, and I mean, they're gone within 24 hours. If I have one for longer than that, it's, I mean, people are like, okay, you know, is this something that's going to come up again? It's like, well, it depends on if another hatches, you know, and it's probably going to be gone within a couple hours. So it's just like, you got to be on top of it. And that's really what I've seen in a lot of the industry, is just like nothing sticks around.
Yeah. And the thing is people are actually treating this as a business now, and seeing that this industry isn't, oh, you know, there's no money in ball pythons, or, you know, the industry is going to, you know, it's too overpopulated and it's going to crash, or I don't think there is any, you know, life or what limitation on, like, oh, there's only, you know, 5 more years left. And it's crazy, you know.
Well, I mean, look at the aquarium hobby. That's something that we kind of, I guess, try to emulate, not necessarily in the, you know, look, don't touch kind of thing, but like, you see an aquarium within a home. It's usually a centerpiece. It's in a living room, something like that. And it's animals that, you know, just look, don't touch. You don't go play with your fish. I mean, at least most people don't. But it's something that is a centerpiece. So that's kind of like what we thought of reptiles, is then, like Stephen was saying, it's kind of being like a, you know, something that's like pushed under the rug. It's in a closet or whatever. Like, oh, it's an animal in a box. But no, it's something that you want to be a centerpiece. And so now like you said, not just you've got people that are getting into it for the business and breeding and producing, but you also have the people that are working on with high-end pets too. So that, I mean, the industry as far as business and community is growing tenfold because people, one, are home, two, there's lots of people that are being able to create content and saying, hey, you know, that's something that I want to jump into, and seeing other people being successful. So it kind of like, I guess, stokes that fire in a lot of people who it's just been something that they're like, that would be cool someday. But the COVID has made people, or the shutdown has made people have to take a leap. And I think it really has helped the community a lot.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
It gets better too. I mean, like the tools, the equipment, the quality of animals that are available. I mean, it's I think demand's going to grow because it's going to reach more people because it's not so difficult. It's not a mystery. It's not like, you know, oh, Steve got lucky over here and his snake didn't die in 6 months after he bought it. You know, it's people know how to care for them now, and I think it's going to be easier and more accessible. Quality of animals is greater, and the ease of care is going to, I think that's going to spur a lot more people to buy these things too. So I really just don't see the demand decreasing.
Yeah, I don't see it slowing down.
And there's so many people out there. I'm one of them that want to educate people, and you know, I'm the true believer that, hey, I do it my way. It's not the only way. There's so many different ways to do certain things. Do a whole bunch and find out what works for you. You can do two things that I like. And, what's that?
Yeah. So that's just what drives me nuts is when somebody says, this is the way you have to care for this animal. I'm like, you know, come on, man. There's way more than one way to do this stuff. So
100%.
I irritate a lot of people, but I make weird enclosures that, you know, might work in a way that's against the norm. And of course you get just killed on the internet. Everybody's going to hate you because you're doing something outside the norm. And I'm like, I'm not telling you to do this, but you can. Look, I did it and it worked out fine. You do what you want, but people need to be willing and able to try new stuff and not just keep repeating the same.
And find out what the animal likes. Like, you know, don't listen to somebody. Don't listen to what I'm saying. You know, do something and see how your animal responds. See how it's doing. You know, try a few different things. And I'm always doing that. I'm always trying new things. I've heard of something and it's like, you know what? Hey, that actually might work. Let's see it. And I'll test a rack and see how they go. And then when people ask me down the road, it's like, hey, you know what? I've actually done it, and I didn't find a difference, you know, or I did, and then you know what I noticed after about 2 months, this and that. I can actually give you some, you know, information on what I've experienced because I've tried it. Not like, that won't work. That won't work if you tried it. No, but that won't work. How the fuck do you know if you haven't tried it? I hate people that have the answer when they've done nothing. Like, you know what? Oh, my God, it drives me nuts.
That's social media in a nutshell, but...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Give everybody a keyboard and they'll go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then I like to just kind of poke a little bit and do something weird, and then I just won't engage. I'm not going to fight and argue with somebody on the internet.
You're not going to change their mind.
Right, yeah. People who are out to get you, they're going to be that way. But I'm like, man, I like doing different stuff and just seeing how we can do things that are different. And that's
better.
That's the fun part for me. Yeah, different and obviously better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, end of the day, I do what I fucking want to do. You don't like it. You don't like it that I'm hyper. You don't like it that I cut eggs. You don't watch. You know, I don't give a fuck if everyone in the world fucking went against me. I'd still do it. You know why? Because that's what I fucking want to do, and I have every goddamn right to do it. That's simple.
And that's the only way you'll be successful. If you're trying to, you know, worry about what everybody's going to think of you, or you're trying to make, you know, appease everyone and do what you think they want. I'm like, you're not going to get anywhere, man. It's like, you got to do the stuff that you want to do, how you want to do it. And people will catch on to that. And they know, you know, hey, this guy's actually doing something different and he's doing it good. So, and then that's how you kind of cultivate a following. It's like, you've got to be willing and able to do it. And you've got to stick to your guns, man.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely, you have to have growth mindset, not just, you know, like smash everything. No, my idea is better, or the old idea is better. Just because it's been around for a long time doesn't mean it's better.
Yep. And you got to be willing to change when you get new information. So somebody tells you something that you didn't know, you got to go, oh crap, we need to take that into account. So you got to listen to people too.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, everything's changing. The way thermostats are running, and now they're linked to Bluetooth, you know, where you can get alerts. caging, lighting requirements, like the way things are changing. Stuff like companies like, oh my God.
Dragon Hatch?
No. Oh, Dragon Hatch. Yeah, like the Dragon Hatch and Easy Hatch trays, stuff like that. The sensor pushes.
Oh, yeah, those.
You know, so you can actually, find out what your temperatures are, humidity are in your incubator, in your rooms, in certain enclosures. It's just getting better and better for for you as a keeper to know what's going on at all time with your phone, whether you're home or not, and also you can dial in and get those requirements needed for those certain animals, better dialed in and recorded so you can actually track. I think it's this. Well, fuck, here, I know. It's simple, right?
Yeah, you're not spraying some water and they're going, I guess it looks like that's about 65% humidity. I think that looks pretty close,
It's like 5 water droplets too many. Oh, shit.
Yeah, we have some super particular customers and they've all got, the same kind of thing, Bluetooth thermometers and hydrometers and stuff. And they'll send me screenshots of how it looks throughout the day. And we'll try and tailor venting and everything in and humidity cycles. It's just amazing what you can do now instead of just like, getting a hairspray bottle full of water and going, yeah, it's pretty close, and then leaving it, so you can go nuts with this stuff now. And that's it's super cool.
Mm-hmm. It's part of like that OCD nature that Steven has.
Well, it helps you build a better product too. Cause when you know what's actually going on and they're like, hey, we've actually got a new enclosure we're fixing to build that actually has like adjustable venting. So it has plates on the front and the back that are removable. So, we have customers in Texas where it's, 100% humidity pretty much. And we have tons in California, New York, where it's just dry as crap.
Yeah.
So you've got to kind of make something that sort of accounts for all that. So we try and find a happy medium. I mean, you're not going to find one that works perfectly for everybody all the time. So if you have to cover a vent or something, it is what it is. But we've got one now that's got 2 removable plates that actually vents. It pulls from the front at like the substrate area, pulls from the front and it goes up and it goes towards the rear. And we've got 2 sets of vents in the back and you can block half of those off. So you can actually direct airflow, you can increase airflow, or you can nearly cut it off completely. So it just depends on, what you're keeping, how you're keeping your ambient, your humidity cycles, if you're manually misting or if you're using a misting system. It's just absurdity. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we'll have, that release too. So folks can kind of start dialing in their stuff a little closer too. Mm-hmm. So it's weird stuff like that. You just got to try different stuff. So we've been playing around with one and it's going good. So we're going to actually put it in production and have it available soon.
Yeah, that was actually the rendering that Steven created of a kind of a wall the other day that we posted. It was a little kind of sneak peek at a few things that are in the works.
Sick. Always pushing things forward. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the easy road, but it's definitely something that it's worthwhile. Because getting the information, collecting it from, like, we communicate with the people who are interested in these enclosures and the same animals that we keep too. So it's like we all have a mutual kind of interest, and the information it's astounding just to see like the different amounts of the way that people care for it. It all kind of ends up being like in a similar kind of realm. So like you have, like Steven said, somebody in California, very dry, somebody in Houston, very humid, but you have to have the animal be within the certain
limitations.
Parameters.
Yeah. Or you'll assume you've got a setup dialed in for Florida and you realize your customer keeps their home at 60 something degrees and they run a dehumidifier and you're like, really?
Yeah. So it's more like California.
Never guessed,
Yep. But yeah, there's been a lot of, we've had a lot of trial and we've had a lot of, it's kind of the same thing of, Steven and the CNC. You have stuff that works and stuff that doesn't, but you just have to, you keep at it because that's all you can do. And it's the right, it sounds like, high and mighty, but it's the right thing to do. Like if you have something that matters, you need to continue pursuing it and saying,
you can always make it better. Yeah. You can always make it better or make adjustments or, tweak it somewhere, and a lot of this new stuff that's coming out where, even now in the facility here, I've got my own alarm system that, it keeps track. I've got Google Nest for the 2 thermostats, so I can actually go online and look and change, up it, lower it, turn it on and off, see what it is. Then I've got each of my racks on a spider web, Herbstat. And those are all linked in to the Wi-Fi, so I can go and turn on and move and adjust any single rack, get notifications. I have it through my Husbandry Pro as well, so I get notifications. I have the sensor push in every room in the incubator, so I've got backup over backup over backup. And you know what? If something else comes out, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's cool. Let me do this too. And some things I change. Like right now with our rooms, when we put the glass in, they're running pretty decent, but now I want to put air exchangers and more ventilation in each of the rooms. So now, they're fine, but you know what? I know I can get it better. I can tweak it even more. Not only do an air exchange, but actually have it through a HEPA filter, so I'm actually cleaning and cycling the air as we go. Do I need it? Probably not, but why the fuck not? And that's what we're starting to do. Push it ahead, go that extra mile and change it. And, it wasn't the number one thing to do. Other things had more priority, but now we're doing it. That's one thing that's on the list of things to do. Make the air quality better. Make the ventilation and the air not as stagnant. Instead of just having air movers or fans blowing it around, let's cycle it better. Have more of a stream of air intake and outtake and also HEPA filter it, or find even something better to actually improve the air quality that's moving through and around and stuff like that. So that's next on our list here, but always improving. I want the best for my animals. I want the best for us when we're in there and here all the time. Like I'm here 7 days a week. So.
Yeah, that's something that's, the air quality is a very underlooked or not looked at thing, because everybody says, okay, they want it to be easy for them. So they spray it once a day. If you have to spray it more than that or get an automatic misting, it's too much work. But I'm like, really, you should have more airflow than anything. You don't want stagnant air. So a lot of people will go and they say, oh, I have to mist too often. There's too much venting. But you got to remember that this animal is in it's not out in the wild. It's in a small environment. So you have to make sure that even though, okay, it stays at 60% humidity, if it's not dropping and you're not having to go in there and spray it, it's not that, oh, great, I don't have to do much work. It's just that the air is stagnant. It's not flowing. It's not doing its job.
It's just there. It's
there. So just because you don't have to spray it for a while doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right thing that's happening in there. You have to kind of think, I guess, in kind of like a climate thing. So you want that as far as airflow, you want that humidity, spike and drop. It's just like how a natural, like the dew point happens within the wild, but you have to have it within a small, enclosure. So everything there is going to be way more acute. So like you don't have the wild that, or outside that's going to be, things fluctuate slowly. If within a small environment, things are going to go very quickly. So you have to kind of stay on your toes and be able to work around that. And that's with our enclosures. We have to kind of work with, people who have different climates for one, but you have bioactive setups, you have sterile setups. And it's not saying that, one is better than the other, but you have to be able to work with each of them within their own setup.
And each one's going to require different things, different time, and you got to be aware of those. But it's, there's a lot of things that I think that we've just taken for granted, like airflow,
exactly.
The food that we feed. Oh, is it really as nutritious as it should be? There's so many things. And one thing that I said about a year and a half ago, when someone says, hey, Billy, now that you're doing this full time, what's one thing that you really want to do? And I want to be a better keeper. I want to understand this a lot more. I want to, and we have been going down that route, trying to find out, like, are these rodents that we're feeding the best nutrition? Do they have everything? Are they good? Is there a way to make improvement? And if so, how do we do that? Air quality, cleaning requirements, just everything we're trying to learn and test out and, get a better result, especially for, these living creatures to actually have, a better, bringing up, and keeping them. And it's funny because up here, I don't know if cold-blooded clowns is this? I know he's been in a few others, but you know, it says, "What's Austin doing? Is Austin allowed to talk?" Man, I don't shout my yap, man. I mean, I'm lucky I let fucking guests talk. Like, that's how bad it is. You know
I'm trying
what I mean?
not to talk over you. I'm like, calm down, man. You know, we got two guys who are saying a lot of stuff.
But no, I mean, Austin, man, talk.
Well, you got a super chat that we missed.
Did we see it?
Exotical Fidians.
But if you
He's
say,
on it.
I can see it right there still, so it's okay.
oh yeah, so
Exotical Fidians, and he says blow up doll fund.
yeah, why is there a blow up doll fund?
They want every time I go for a water break, they want to go get a blow up doll of me.
Why?
Sit in my spit.
Oh my god! Wow. No,
I said it.
Speaking of water break.
no.
Go.
Cardboard cutout.
Okay.
So she's going for a water break too.
Cardboard cutout.
Jeez.
Love you, Billy, he says, cold-blooded clowns. But no, I mean, I just love yapping, man. I can talk about snakes and this industry and everything that goes on in my brain. You know, I live and breathe this stuff, and it's just, you know, I'm strong, you know, in beliefs with a few things, and you know, I know what's worked for me. I've seen people, you know, do things that I've adapted, or they've done things that I've helped them with, and I see them doing well. And then I see people that just don't know what they're doing, and it's sad and see them failing. And, you know, I'm trying to, you know, get out there to let people know that there's a way to do things properly. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect, but there's a direction that you've got to, there's certain steps that you've got to do in order to move forward. You know, it doesn't have to be the exact same steps, but there is a method to being successful and to getting to where you want to be. And, you know, I'm just trying to let people know, hey, you know, I've done many things and I've failed many times, and it sucks to fail. I know. But if you don't get off your ass and push forward and, you know, when you get that wall or that obstacle in front of you, it'll happen. It'll happen in everyday fucking life, everything. And if you just say, and play comfortable and sit back and just, you know, you're never going to know what the fuck's on the other side of the wall, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's definitely not me. So.
Yeah. You know, and like lots of new keepers, here's something interesting too, is a lot of people, you need to do your due diligence before you buy an animal. It's amazing how many times I'll get an email from somebody who is in possession of an animal and they're like, okay, I just got this thing. What do I need? Like, first off, I'm like, I don't know how you have it. I don't know where you have it. I don't know where you're keeping it. I'm like, you need
parameters, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need to know what you need before you get the animal. You need to have your setup. You need to have it dialed. You need to know how to operate it. You need to know what it does. And then you purchase this animal and then you put it in there. So many people they just get so excited that they buy a box, they buy an animal, they throw it in there, and then they try and figure it out. It's like, it's the wrong order. It's like, there's so many resources out there for people to try and, you know, figure out how they need to care for something, what they need to care for it with, and then actually try and dial it in first. So, I mean, there's so many opportunities to learn. You just need to just take it slow, essentially. So you need to dial up your setup, and then you need to purchase the animal. So everybody gets excited. They want to buy the snake. They want to buy the lizard. And then they're trying to frantically figure it out afterwards. And it's like, dude, it's just the wrong way to go. It's just backwards, you know?
Yep. But that's happening less and less now, thankfully. But I've seen it where it's, wow, you know, people realize that, oh my God, look at this. And they can Google and they can get the information, and other people will guide them, or they'll reach out. It's like, hey, I really want to do this. Or, you know, most people getting into this industry or knowing that there is an industry or a hobby, it's from somebody else. Like, oh, well, hey, guess what? Well, first what you need to do is you need to do this. So people are showing them how to do it in the right steps instead of just going in and walking out with a fucking animal. Okay, what do I need now? Like, oh my God, I need all this stuff. And even some of the pet stores, they're selling everything that they don't need, but not selling a fucking thermostat, which I think is one of the most important fucking, you know, pieces of equipment for these animals.
I'm so confused by that. Like, so many people are so opposed to a thermostat. I'm like, you should have anything that makes hot. If it makes heat, it should be on a thermostat.
Regulated of some sort, 100%.
For sure. And they're like, no one will buy it. And they're like, they just want to flip on some lights and they're done. And I'm like, you need to regulate that stuff. I mean, a few degrees difference in your ambient is going to change the animal's environment. I'm like, and plus if something were to run away or it's hotter than you think, I mean, not every heating element's created completely equally. Some are going to be hotter than others. Some are capable, more so than others. And it's like, dude, spend the $109 or spend the $89 or $79 or whatever. I mean, if you buy, an off brand or something, I'm like, just please monitor your heat, monitor your animal. Don't just flip on a bunch of lights and hope it's good.
Yep. It's crazy. I mean, it's nuts. But I mean, that's what our part is, to help educate and put information out there, which many people are, to how to care for a certain species or an animal and what's needed and some of the costs that are associated before you get this animal. I know people that buy it, hi, blah, 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 I got this snake. Do you sell feeders? No, I don't. Oh, well, I mean, I got, I've got this animal for 3 weeks and I don't know where to buy food. What the fuck? Like, I've had phone calls, like, and I get more phone calls like this now because I put myself on Google, where before I never did, right? Now I have more of a storefront location and, I do have stuff like coconut husk and stuff. So, I'm on there with Google where people will call me up and I put myself as a pet store. That's even though I'm not. But I get more calls like that. And hi, do you sell feeders? I'm like, no. And I had somebody ask, it's like, well, I've had this animal for 3 weeks and I don't know where to buy food from. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, wow. Like, so you have an animal, you might have all the other requirements, but fucking food. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, fuck, I don't know what's worse. Like, not feeding it or not having a thermostat. Like, they're both horrible. It's maddening. It's like, holy shit, how do you go buy an animal and don't have fucking the food required to feed this animal? It's nuts. It's sad, too, for these animals, because a lot of these animals are being abused, and they don't even realize that, not having proper temps or having a thermostat or regulating heat or feeding them proper appropriate meals. I mean, that's abusing these animals, in a sense, if not, really abusing them. It's sad.
Yeah. I'm also quite amazed with your ability to put your phone number out there and be able to survive. I'm like, man, the amount of correspondence we receive is crazy. Like, I spent one day, I sat down and I was like, okay, today, all I'm going to do is immediately answer every message, email, quote, everything. I sat down, I worked all day long. I never got up from the chair. I mean, all I did was just, answer. That's not taking a phone call. I'm like, we don't have a phone number available just because it's not possible for me to stand there on the phone. Yeah. It's literally just both of us. The shop is loud. I am in there every single day. Something is always cutting. I'm like, I mean, you could almost have a person who would just 24/7 just talk to people, just, answer questions and quote jobs and stuff. So we, like Ashley was saying earlier, we try and have the page set up where we can, kind of guide people to it, that sort of explain all the options and everything that we have. But I'm like, dude, I am impressed with your ability to just keep the phone to your head all day and be able to do it. I'm like, that is wild.
Yeah. I mean, the social media, I mean, sometimes when, I can't get to all of them. So, I have certain ones like, my Patreon first, then I have certain, my sales. I have somebody, from Morph Market and like that, they're answering those emails. If they need to speak to me or they can't answer the question, they forward it to another email that I receive. I have 4 or 5 emails, in a certain priority. Instagram first, Facebook's always last. So, then I do have text, and then I do have the store phone, which I don't really, answer as much. But when people do call the store, we'll answer it while we're here. But, I don't answer. They end up messaging, hey, Austin, Billy mad at me? Like, he hasn't got back to me in 2 days. It's like, fuck. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, when I do have time, I'll go through some of the stuff. And I'll start going through and I'll start answering stuff. Or if I'm doing something, I'm like, I look at it and like, okay, mark is unread, so I can go back. And then, I've gone to sat there, I sat on a Sunday and I'm like, let me sit there and answer some questions. And I start going back and I'm like, flipping through 100 to find one that was from 3 days ago. It's like, oh shit. Hi, sorry I'm getting this too late. It's maddening. Like, we literally get hundreds of messages, text messages, and calls a day on all social platforms. It's crazy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's never ending. Like, well, I've been sitting here, my phone has gone off. I mean, it's
going nuts.
crazy, the stuff that we've gotten. And it's just all day, every day. I'm like, man, you try and get to everybody, you try and take your time with them and stuff, but
because it's not that we don't want to, it's just literally because it's just two of us. If we are answering, spending hours answering messages and such and quoting, well, you have to quote, but like that's time away from production. So that's the problem, is like just being the two people team is sometimes you just have to say, okay, I will do it within these times of the day is usually what we do. We have certain times of the day that we answer messages. And outside of that, there are not enough minutes in the day to get everything done.
And that's kind of the fine line too. You're trying not to ignore new business, but you don't want to neglect people who've already ordered from you. So you're trying to balance that thing. I'm like, I'm not trying to chase everybody.
Not easy. Not even close to being easy. And people think, oh, it must. No, it's not. It's no matter what we do, it's work. Oh, if you're not doing this, you got to do this, you got to do that. And then try to keep up with social media, try to do this, try to do your collection, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you're fortunate to have it, but at the same time, it's like you're trying to do it right. You want to make sure you treat everybody fairly. That's my thing. I'm like, man, I want to treat everybody the same. No one's extra special. I mean, everybody is the same with us. And it's just easier for me because, man, as soon as you get somebody who's, better than somebody else, you've just got this whole problem. And I'm like, we try and treat everybody the same, but it just takes a while to get through all of it. So I think we've been pretty freaking good about keeping on top of messages and requests.
Well, it's doing it quality
like
too,
that.
like actually being able to interact with the person and like answer their questions or point them in the right direction. And that's the thing, is you can do something that's kind of like offhand and spend less time on it, but that's not what's important. It's the quality in, quality out, like you have. That's and that comes down to the simple thing of messaging. And it's just, we've started taking the one day off, but we have to literally turn our phones off, because if you didn't, it would be, you're basically tethered to it at this point.
Yep. No, I get it. And it's just, it's people don't realize the amount of work that we do. Like, I can only imagine what you guys do. It's like, yeah, you guys see what we do, but you don't see the extent, like what we do on a daily basis, the amount of cleaning. We spend probably how long do you think a week we spend just ultrasounding every week? 10 hours, maybe? 8 to 10?
Like, 6 to 8.
6 to 8 hours just ultrasounding every week.
Maybe
It's
more.
almost a full day. And that's, 2 people. Cleaning, breeding,
The enclosures, that's just one part of what we've got going on
Yeah,
here. So she's got Method Noir Exotics, which is the animal portion of it. And how many animals are in this house right now?
I try not to count just because, crazy gecko lady, but between monitors,
There's 5 monitors here?
5 monitors, 5 very large monitors. We have, the boa, the carpet, the multiple green trees. We've got the venomous. We've got probably 30 to 40 geckos. Like I said, I don't count. And what else? Corn snakes, leopard gecko, lots of inverts. I do my own colonies of inverts, cave roaches, hissers, dubias. And all that stuff just takes, it's literally hours a day. And so that's like my morning is before we go to work, I have to get up early and take care of all the animals. And I make sure that it's the utmost care, because if you slack there, it's a living thing. You just can't slack. And I don't let myself do that. So it's like every single day, it's always
So
clean,
you're several hours in the
feed.
morning. Yeah. Then you're getting in the truck, you're driving to the shop, you're working there. When you come home, you've got to do it again. So I'm like, there's so much that goes into this. And it's like, I promise we are humping, we are on it. We're talking to everybody. We are taking care of everything. And it's like, we don't want to neglect anything, but there's so much to do. And it's amazing how
A lot
much
of people
time
just
and
don't know.
effort,
Yeah.
Animals take. I'm like, that is something you've got to get right. And they require so much.
That's what we started with, was the animals. So the collection is it's way more behind the scenes, because I do most of the social media, and I really don't do much with Method Noir, but every single day, it's multiple hours. So it's like, it's basically like working 2 jobs. You do the animals, and then you do the enclosures, and then you do the animals again when you get home, and you have like maybe, an hour for, to take care of the house.
Yeah. You said you got big monitors, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Are they all the same? Because we've got like 3 big monitors here. All of ours are Samsung.
But
That's just
I'm sure I have a button on the gizmo that has a clap button.
It probably does,
yeah.
yeah. I just don't want it's going to be the.
Yeah, baby. That was taken from Antoine. We did a Convos and Coffee. And one of the questions I have for the podcast is, so what all do you keep? And he was like, yeah, well, I have ball pythons. I have a few of these, and I have a bunch of monitors. And at first, I didn't even catch it. And he's like, yeah, I have a, what was that? There's a name. He goes, I have an LG, a Hinway, and a Samsung. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, Antoine. Him and his dad jokes. It was pretty good.
Get excited, and then you're like, ah, damn.
I had to use it. As soon as you said I have 5 big monitors in the house, I'm like, I gotta steal a little bit of Antoine's.
Are they all different monitors? I was like, that's an odd way to put it.
I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
That was good. That was good.
Yeah,
I
try.
I like dad jokes.
Pretty bad. Anyways.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's great that you guys have the, like you said, enclosures for keepers by keepers. And I think that's, huge, because you're not just building something without any idea or testing or anything else. Some of the requirements and little things that you can add in the enclosures to make it better. Like, I know I'm looking at something, it's like, hey, I can have stuff inside, I can have stuff outside. I have a screen for the basking light, for the dome, outside, inside lights, different hatches, ventilation. It's not just building something like, here, this is what you got, fucking deal with it. You're actually modifying it towards certain, and I think it's great, because what happens is people end up buying something and modifying the shit out of it themselves and destroying it. And,
that's what Steven's always talking about.
And I fucking hate that, because I hate, like, oh shit, like, what do I need to do? And I get it. It's like, oh, let me try to drill a hole. Like, fuck no. Like, well, you should have used this first. Well, I didn't know. And, you're trying to modify something that should have been modified prior for you getting it, or
should have been made right. So
100% right.
People will buy stuff from me, like they'll buy something like our Cambro setup. We have a hanger 6 that holds those Cambro tubs. A lot of guys keep, like, younger or boreal snakes in, and immediately they're drilling holes and stuff in all their Cambro tubs to make sure it has adequate ventilation. I'm like, stop, do not touch that. I'm like, I have spent many a day building this thing, many hours testing it in different, different climates, different temperatures, different humidity. I'm like, just put it together and use it. Let me know how it is. And it's like,
and
you
then
don't have to
maybe to alter, do things,
if
but
you
like
need to dial in for your, area or whatever. But I'm like, most of the time, I'm like, you buy something from us, you put it together, you turn it on, and there you go. So
yeah, and it's highly dependent on the animal, like you were talking about with the domes inside or outside. Like, if you have monitor, something that's going to be curious and pick at something, they'll climb all over the dome light inside. So if you can put it outside, if you're not going to be stacking it, I'm like, we just give people the option to work with what they have to work with, their home, their whatever, their animal. So it's like, we use both setups. We have setups with the lights inside, we have setups with it on top. We work with, the ventilation there. And it's, we're humans, we're not perfect, but we definitely try, like Stephen was talking about with the Cambro setup. I mean, there must have been, maybe can count on 2 hands how many prototypes there were. I mean, it may be over that, just because, like, the different shelves, the different backs, and making sure that it had ventilation in the correct areas, because you don't want it to be just a big cooking box.
Right. 100%.
So it's
I mean, they're all over the house. It was hilarious. It looked like my family came over like, what the hell is all
it
this
looked like
shit
crazy
everywhere
people
in this house? I mean, there's just Cambro, rack setups everywhere.
And trying to explain what it was is.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have, like, the heat tape in a slightly different position. Some of them have washers that are a few hundredths of an inch thinner, just to space the skids down to move the tub slightly lower, so it has this much more airflow. I mean, just crazy people crap everywhere. And so we still have all the prototypes, and they're just full of geckos, because geckos are easy.
Yeah, geckos actually are pretty easy, but I mean, there's tens of thousands of dollars of geckos in the prototypes, so at least we can use them. But it's just trying to explain to people that aren't in the reptile hobby. It's just, we have friends that come over and they're like, oh, look, you've got all the animals. And we're like, yeah, we've got all the animals.
Here's an awesome super chat. This is from Legacy Morphs. Take it away, Austin. This is really awesome. I loved it. I love reading that. Did you see it?
Yep. Thanks, MC Fam. Just had my first clutch with a girl I got from you. Thanks for all the advice. Vanilla, Azanthic, Het Hypo, times Hypo, Orange Dream, Spider, Mojave. 4 good eggs, 1 slug.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I remember selling that animal to you last year, and your very first clutch ever is from a female that I sold you. That's so amazing. Congratulations. That's a nice pairing, too.
Oh, yeah.
Hypo, combo hypos, het exanthics. Sick. Really awesome.
It's a super special feeling.
No, it is. I love being able to, I've had a few people, it's usually the males, hey, Billy, that male I got from you, holy fuck, he's a champ, he's breeding. And, even Antoine from High Desert Pythons, I mean, he's been pairing one of the animals he's got for me. And it's like, yeah, but it's great to see that when you sell a female, and that wasn't even a proven breeder female. It was a female that, was like a sub-adult and got her, raised her up, and and it's his first clutch ever from one of my snakes. Super cool. So that's awesome.
It's amazing.
Way to go, man. That's super awesome. I love shit like that. See, that's there's no better feeling than that kind of shit.
Yeah,
What's that?
It's good.
Oh, super awesome. But, yeah. Neat.
Nice.
So you going to talk today? What's up?
Still tired.
Yeah. So tell them what you did this weekend.
I just went to a cottage, family cottage. It was nice.
And when did you get back?
Like, literally before the podcast.
Like 15 minutes before the podcast?
It's a long drive.
Yeah, long drive.
Yeah, that takes a lot of driving, takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it was like over 3 hours.
So still shows up, fucking grinds it through.
Yeah, he's on the podcast like this.
Yeah, he shows up, yeah.
Yeah, I like that 3 hours is long, though. And this state, that's like the next town.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is huge.
shit, that's
Well,
horrible.
Texas, I mean, I don't think that we quite count. I mean, what is it? Probably 4 months into this business, we went on a cross-country road trip it was 50 hours. We drove straight.
50 hours.
Enclosures.
15 or 50?
50.
50.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
we both love to drive and like having the experience of like going across the country and stuff. So all we do, we never stop. We just switch out. So we'll sleep,
But you're
but
switching
the
up.
truck
Yeah.
never turned off.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it was kind of early on and we weren't, I guess, necessarily trusting of freight companies.
Yeah.
And we had some very custom large enclosures. And we just decided that was when Stephen was talking when we went up to Delaware, was actually we went to visit family and went 5 different stops across the country to deliver. We packed our trailer full of enclosures and went and personally delivering them to everyone.
Yeah, because that was right in the beginning, and I'm like, oh my god, these people spent so much money on these giant boxes.
You
I'm
don't
like,
wanna
I can't
fuck 'em
imagine
up.
putting them on a pallet and they get destroyed. Yeah, so
They're
we
all
were
splattered and I mean
it was
super
weird.
custom.
Everybody who ordered them was up the East Coast. I mean, it was like literally in a line.
Mhm.
So I mean, we left here and we went to Louisiana,
Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia,
Yeah,
North Carolina.
Yeah, we just kept working our way north, dropping stuff off, and it was.
See, that's
it was
amazing. I
freaking
love it.
cool.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
like, we're carrying these giant things into people's houses, and then they're showing you all their other animals.
I got to meet
I'm
so
like,
many cool animals.
It was actually really cool. I'm like, I wish we could just deliver everything. I'm like, wish we could cut out the whole shipping crap and just
Mhm.
fill our trailer full of stuff and go meet everybody, because it was a really positive experience.
Yeah, we tried to do a little video on it. Of course, I wanted to, respect people's privacy, so I didn't get to like show a lot of like their homes and stuff. But it was really cool just to like meet the people, and these are the early adopters. I mean, it had to be.
We were nobodies.
We
and
were
these people
nobodies.
spent money on this big stuff, and I'm like, I will come bring it
Yeah,
to
we
you.
personally gave it to them, and it was super special. Like if you want to talk about one of those things, it's kind of like you think about or you look back on, and it was like that was something that was really exciting as like the budding new business, right? And we get to go and do this cross country trip and meet a bunch of people and actually like shake their hand and meet their animals, and like it was
Sick.
really cool.
Yeah, that's
So you won't
amazing.
be like the romantic, but that was 50 hours. Yeah.
That's
That's a lot of
crazy
fun.
though.
Yeah.
We've got a celebrity in the house, Chris Eaton.
Nice.
Snakes in the Fat Man. He's
Man, I love that guy.
Yeah, What's not to love, man? You know. He said.
What'd he say?
He said, just wanted to stop in and say hi to you guys and show some love for Focus, baby.
All
He didn't say baby. You know, I put that in. But, you know.
That's okay. Little flair. That's your style.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is not meant to be offensive, but I think the first time I ever heard his podcast, I think we were
years ago.
I think we were on that drive, weren't we?
Maybe. Yeah. Cause I subjected him to all the reptile podcasts. Like if you look at my podcast app, it's full of reptile podcasts.
Yeah. The first one I heard, I'm like, this guy is abhorrent. I'm like, what a crude, rude individual. I'm like, these people come on his show.
Give me more. Yeah. Give me more.
He's saying all these horrible things. And I'm like, this is awful. And
I always loved
his
his podcast.
Oh, he's actually a cool guy.
Yeah,
By the end of it, you figure, I'm like, oh, okay, he's actually a cool guy.
Oh, I just love when he talks about expos and the fucking, it's just like, wow. Tell us how you really feel, bro. But no, it's just, but it's like, you know what I mean? And it's funny because some people go to an expo and don't even, you know, everything that he says, people don't even see that. You know, it's different people's perspectives and different people's opinions, and everybody's allowed to have one. And, you know, it's funny because if people don't like a certain, like, if people don't like my podcast, don't fucking listen. You don't like my live streams, don't like my videos that I put out, don't fucking watch. It's not like I'm forcing you or someone's forcing you. It's like, oh, fuck, I got to watch this guy all day. No, you know, you don't like it, turn the channel. You don't believe in something he says, or they keep this a certain way. Well, you don't like it, then don't do it that way. You can do it the way you want. It's just people are so fucking butthurt the way they spell a word, the way they say something, littlest things. It's just like it's like people looking for fucking drama. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course. That's social media in a nutshell. And that's why I love like your style and his style. It's like y'all are real people. And that's what I love. I want to interact with somebody who's genuine. Right. And it was funny. We met Chris at the Herps Reptile show, this last Conroe show. And it's like super cool. He's just, he's just another guy.
What a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a
it's
cool
awesome.
dude.
And somebody that has like a passion for the hobby and is putting out content and trying to help people grow. And I'm like, that's what this is all about.
And telling you how he feels, baby.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's coming from the heart.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you don't like it, then like tough shit. I mean, you know what? I mean, that's,
don't listen,
Yeah.
There's lots of other stuff for you to do. It's like
100%. Like, it's great when people hate you so much and can't stand you, but they take the fucking time out of their day to watch and then comment. Like, wow.
We're starting to get to that point now. I'm like, we finally made it when you have haters, when people start just talking crap about you and they don't know you.
They've never met you in person.
Anything, and they just start saying stuff. And I'm like, we finally arrived.
Yep.
Somebody's just out of nowhere doesn't like us for some stupid reason. I'm like, I'm going to keep poking this issue.
Somebody's like, you open up a message and somebody's cussing at you and it's like, all right. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah. This was awesome. Just reading the chats. Yeah, everyone's saying, wow, what a good story. Custom boxes, custom delivery.
It was like I said,
that was super cool.
I romanticize it, but I mean, we had 2 dogs in the back and it was at points it was a shit show, but the fun part is like we did it. We got to meet people, and that's why we do this, is like just to be a part of like the people's, because these enclosures become a part of people's homes, right? Or their reptile room, or their wherever it is. So it's like it's meeting the people behind the order, if you say. It was super special. And like, if we had the time, absolutely, we would love to deliver everything, because dealing with, the shipping, it's especially with COVID. I mean, shipping live animals, it's always so scary. And it's like, you put so much time into these enclosures, and it's just like, oh, just let somebody take it that has no care in the world.
Well, it's even like we go to shows and stuff, and somebody will come to a show to pick up an enclosure, and we carry it out to their car, and they just start shoving it in the back. I'm horrified. They're beating it up, they're rolling it over, they're sliding it on stuff, and I'm like, we have wrapped it in 8 million pounds of just plastic wrap, and I'm like, I'm so horrified. They're sliding it in the back of their truck. I'm like, I want to throw up. I'm like, I've spent days putting this thing together carefully, dusting it, wrapping it, leaving it off in a corner, and they just shove it in the back of their truck. And I'm like, I'm going to throw up. I'm super sick.
If somebody can do whatever they want to afterwards, but it's like, we want to
let me see it.
Yeah.
Crazy. So what's your like right now? You're thinking that your building that you already have is already crowded. It's just the two of you. Are you guys looking at expanding already and bringing on maybe an employee or two? Is that something, or you content right now where you're at? Because you don't want to lose that personal touch as well. Because when you grow, you know things aren't always. Oh, how come this isn't the same way it used to be? Oh, because of this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the exact spot we're at. I'm like, there's two ways we can go. We can start hiring people. We can expand like crazy, and then just. I'm not sure. I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm like, I kind of like the personal touch, like you're talking about. It's like, if you get an email or a message from us, it's from me or it's from Ashley. It's one of the two of us. That's it. If something is put together, it's either from her or it's from me. The only person I have ever trusted to help us, we've had like a guy come over, like 6 or 7 times to help us. He is a master tech. He's a master Infinity technician. So he works on automobiles. He's a master tech. He was
part of my team where I used to work. He was and he's a master tech, and he turned a parts guy, and very meticulous.
That's the only person I've trust to build any enclosure besides one of the two of us. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, for us to expand, I'm like, I'd have to find somebody who is psycho as me and is willing to just pay attention to everything, not skimp anywhere. So I'm like, I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at next. We're trying to figure that out. I'm like, do we want to be big, or do we want to be like super precision bespoke? So we're trying to figure that out.
Or find that happy medium where you can grow a little bit without without getting away from the quality personal touch, and or delegate something to a person so that they're so great at it, and then keep elevating them. And growing with your team, right?
That's a huge thing, is having the right team, but it's finding the right person. It's like, having the guy that we've had help us. I'm like, it would be great if he could work with us. But the problem is that there's not as much opportunity for him with us as it is at my previous job. So it's like, you have to understand his family situation.
Correct.
Versus like, I mean, we'd hire him, tomorrow. But the problem is like, it's his opportunity versus what we can offer. So it's like, we're still small, and like
that's the growing pains, right? That's like,
yeah,
they hurt.
They hurt a lot. Yeah. So we're still working the long hours, but that's right where we're at.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of efficiencies we can still carve out of our current process. I think there's a lot of ways we can make stuff more streamlined, go quicker, be easier on us, and still not have to cut back any options for customers. So I think there's a way we can dial it in. So I think we could figure it out a little quicker.
There's still a little bit more growth between the two of us, but yeah, it's really the long term, because we do have a long term goal, but it's like, well, which fork in the road do you go?
Ashley works more hours. That's what I'm thinking. She can just stay there 24/7, work all day, work all night.
I can sleep in the enclosure. They'll just build one for me, just like you.
Yeah.
Have my focus cube diaper.
I'm ready to retire, so you need to step it up.
Okay. All right.
Super cool. No, man, it's been great to have you guys on, man. It's been what? Maybe, I think I reached out to you guys like a month or so ago, and it's like, slam with this, with this expo coming up. And I know with you guys, you got to build it, get it ready, prep it, load it up, go unload it. It's not like it's an easy task when you guys go and set up because then you got to get it there, unwrap everything, display it.
Oh, it has to be perfect. Yeah. So like packing our trailer, I mean, we have so much foam and stuff. It's like everything, it's overkill, but we want to make sure that like if somebody sees something, they want to take it home, and it's not, like pre not used, but pre-scratch, we want to make sure that it's good. But yeah, we've actually, because of our online presence, we've canceled all the rest of our 2021 shows just because we have to stick to our production.
Correct.
I mean, that's what's most important, is making sure that people who have already like put their faith in us, we're in it. And
dude, shows are so much fun.
They're so much fun.
Super fun. But
I bring my big monitor.
I saw that.
So many orders. I'm like, we've just got to keep up with that stuff. I'm like, I'd love to be hanging out at those and doing them, but I'm like, we just got to keep making stuff and like taking a few days off to build enclosures for the show, and then being there the whole weekend. I'm like, that's just not fair to everybody who's ordered. So we got to stay freaking head down after it. But
Yeah.
we've had all kind of weird stuff come up, like trying to do this. I'm like, this is silly. You should say, hey, you want to come on the show? It's Monday, and it's on a Saturday. Be like, no problem, bro. It's not what happened. It took months and months for us to get here.
Well, yeah, it was back in the freeze is kind of when in February, I remember you were talking about like maybe having us on, and like everything's happened since then. We had the shop, we were moving. And then the last time, multiple people actually kind of wanted us to have us on. And then my dad went into the ICU. I mean, it was just one of those things that it's like, oh yeah, we finally got the equipment. We're ready. We've, kind of caught up on our production, and then boom, family stuff happens. And it's like,
it's always something, man. It's not easy, people. People think it's, I can't wait to one day own my own business and, it's going to be so much easier. No, it's fucking way more work than your 9 to 5. You got way more commitments. You got so much shit. You can't just sit there and go, oh, my time's done. I get to go home now. No, you got to fucking deal with it, figure the shit out, and fucking then some. Like it's,
you get extended. That's why I love talking to like people like you who have done it, and you understand. It's like, you can't explain in any words how difficult it is to balance that, like, and building. You're basically like raising a little child. Like that's your business. So you don't know what it's going to do next or where it's going to go or what the throw up on you. It's going to shit in its diaper. I mean, it's going to be endless. But at the end of the day, you love it because, somebody else isn't, like Steven said, coming and saying, hey, I need you to do this now. And it's like, no, I'm going to do it because I need to do it because I want to do it, not because I have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm finally glad that I got you guys on, which is awesome.
Yes, we definitely appreciate it. We've, it was really funny. We used to build enclosures in this very room, and we had a TV, and we used to watch your videos.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
Yeah, you were talking about, ultrasounding your girls, and we were just watching it and, assembling enclosures here in our house. Yeah, it's so
freaky. Cool. We used to watch videos and stuff, and these people who like all their videos we've watched, they contact us, they talk to us, and I'm like, I'll get a message on my phone and I run in there, show Ashley. I'm like, do you see who's talking to us? I'm like, dude, I'm in the dining room. What's going on here? I'm holding a drill and I'm all confused. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's been
freaking cool.
It's been a ride. Yeah. Being a part of the hobby since like the 90s and seeing how it's grown.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's amazing how things have changed, the mindset, the community, the how we keep the knowledge that's out there. The amount of people getting into it now and doing things right and being successful, and the community, I think, is such a, that's something that has been night and day. Now it's people are out there to help each other now, not shit on them and compete against each other and keep everything hush hush so that other people, they failed, yay, I mean, I'm better. Like, what the fuck? Like, such a shitty mentality.
Well, that's the thing is like, well, I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they were talking about a quote that somebody said, and it was like, it's like the rising tide. Everybody rises. Just because you're successful or you fail doesn't mean that like my success or failure is going to be any part of that. So you want to rise, have the tide rise for everyone as a community, because especially now, with, US ARC and everything, we want to make sure that the reptiles, like, this is a real thing that people are very passionate about. And we want to make sure that it's in the best light, because that's as responsible keepers, that's what we want to share and proliferate throughout the community. So I think that there's a lot of positivity. I mean, there's always going to be negativity. That's just always, that's human nature. It's that's what it is. But you keep moving forward and trying to try different things and trying to do better keeping and keep different species. And it's exciting to see other people, back to the romantic thing. It's exciting to see other people's, their eyes light up when something goes well, or they hatch a certain animal. Yeah. And it's like that's the type of things that we need to be sharing more of, not the negativity, not the fighting, not all the bullshit. It's the positivity of it. And like why we got into this in the first place. It's because the animals are awesome.
Yeah. You know what I love? I love when people reach out and message me saying, hey, Billy, it's because of you that I got my first animal, or it's because of you I started breeding. Just like today, like, hey, Billy, my first clutch ever, and it's a female that I got from you.
Yeah.
How the fuck can I, like that's incredible. Like, it's such an amazing feeling that person has their very first clutch and they're fucking jumping around like a fucking yo-yo like I do. Oh my God, I got a clutch. Holy fuck, I got fucking eggs. And they're jumping around and I had a part of it. It was just fucking amazing. And you know what? Why would you not want, I wish I could have that every fucking hour. Someone going, oh, hey, and it's amazing how just being me and what I do with the team and all the shit that we put out, it's helping people. It's helping people get that excitement. Oh my God, I got fucking eggs, and oh my God, or oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. That's the poor snake. What do I do? And we're here. A video will help save them from untangling them from the umbilical or something, right? So that they can actually intervene and help it because of something that we shared. Instead of them going, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and oh my God, I'm fucking freaking out, and oh my God, I didn't do anything because I didn't know what to do, and the damn thing's dead. Why put people through that? And it's just, believe me, it's such a great feeling to be able to be positive and inspire people and push them and really help them and be a part of their fucking joy, because I would hate anyone taking away my joy. And if I can give what I feel to other people and more of it, and sign me up. I mean, I'm game all the time, man. So
well said. That's yep. That's
just how it is. And I don't understand how people, I guess they don't understand, or maybe they're not happy themselves. I mean, I want more people to experience what I do because it's fucking awesome. Like, we're jumping up and down, fucking like, is it? And it's hilarious what we do, some stuff, around here, and how we, each of us are so unique and different, but we all mend and blend together amazing. And I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's just such a great feeling that you can make other people have the joy and the love and the care and, even the mindset that you have. And if I can share that with the world and most people pick it up and I can help them, achieve that, then fuck, man, that's better than anything else, because that's something I never even sought out to do, I just know that it's shitty with not having people to support you. It's shitty when people give you advice, it's to make you fail. Or people not willing to share, or not be there and actually enjoy you failing. Like, what the fuck do you get from me failing? You get excitement out of that? Like, you're a really fucked up person. I can't even understand that. Like, they fucking fail. I have people that I don't like, but I don't wish them to fail. I just don't like them. But I don't want them to fucking fail, that their animals die. Because, oh, fuck, I don't like that guy, but I hope his animals fucking die. No, I'm not like that. I don't have to like the guy, but I don't wish him fucking ill will. And that's just me. I don't understand how people enjoy people failing. I can't wrap my head around it. I just can't, and I don't want to. It's not like I'm going to go, hey, why? I got to find this out. It's not my life-term mission to find out why people are just douches. It's just not. Let them be douches. Just,
Yeah, you just ignore them and you keep doing your thing.
Yeah,
you keep
that's
making
all I do.
stuff, doing it your way, and it don't matter.
You're always going to find the person that's the naysayer. I mean, that's just is.
It's that bobbing and weaving.
Yes,
Just
that bobbing
stay
and
out of
weaving.
there, yeah.
You try to stay on the track with the people who are not necessarily like-minded, but have an idea of like that they want to increase. They want to increase their care. They want to increase their collection. They want to do better.
Yeah,
and
we all want it, and we all should.
That we know what's better, but we want to keep striving for that better. And that's, I mean, really just align with those type people,
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got another super chat. Oh, Amy
Giramonte, she says, love the positivity as always, and focus. You make some amazing stuff.
What do you mean some, Amy? You mean some? It's fucking all amazing. Come on, Amy. Fuck. Really, some? I know what she meant. Yeah, you got to get it, man. I'm excited. Like, I can't wait to now. I mean, I actually have my list right here.
Yeah,
I've got the Concord SR72 in black. UVB 35. I have a question mark. Should I go 6 or 12% interior? I want a basking light. Heat panel, I'm not sure on that enclosure. I may. But on the second enclosure it's a ratio 48 by 24 by 24. I want it black. UVB 35. Yeah, I mean, they're awesome. I need a basking lamp and a heat panel interior. So, it's going to be, I'm going to send it out to you probably later tonight or tomorrow.
Well, what's kind of cool is we've actually got one of those ratios, the 4x2x2, and it's set up for a carpet python. And we've actually got an Arcadia deep heat. Okay. So most people, what they do is they'll put like an 80-watt heat panel in it, or they'll put some kind of like basking fixture in it.
Right.
We actually have an 80-watt deep heat, Arcadia deep heat in it.
Okay.
And next to it, we have a 40-watt heat panel. So that maintains like night temperatures and stuff.
Right,
And
which is what I want.
The UVB next to it. Right. So what happens is during the day, we have, like basically any kind of thermostat that'll operate two
The
different
deep heat.
probes or two different, thermostats themselves. So one of them operates the deep heat. So we'll set the basking temperature, and that enclosure holds heat so well. Typically, by the time you heat that basking spot up, it actually heats the rest of the enclosure pretty accurately. So during the day, that's the one that runs. And of course, it's not basking at night. There's no sun at night in nature. So that thing's going to shut off. We have it on basically a night drop, and then the heat panel cuts on. So when it turns on, we set the ambient nighttime temperature to 80-ish or so, and then it kind of makes an overall, warmness ambient in there at night. And we just cycle that UVB on and off. So that carpet he is vibrant. He's busy.
Jamming.
Yep. He eats great. He's growing. He looks good. So, I mean, you can go as high tech or as low tech as you want. So it just depends if you really want, a basking spot, or if you're looking just for an overall gradient, or if you need both. So you can do it. This freaking any combination.
Well, that's why I have some of the questions. I was going to reach out to you, and when I messaged you, I'm like, hey, what should I do? Here's the two species I want. What's the best thing from your knowledge as well? Because like I said, I'm learning a lot of this stuff myself, and I if I do anything, I do it right. And, and it's not right from me. I do some research, but I also ask questions, and I try to find people that work with a certain species or stuff like that, or have, experience in building for certain temps and what I'm trying to, get at. And I listen to advice and I take it. So, but yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Excited,
I just
baby.
wish that we could get Fiji's. I'm super jealous.
Yeah, well, when you guys get your ass up here one time, I'll show you mine. So trust me, when I have them, I'll be fucking, putting them on Instagram quite a bit.
Oh, they're so cool.
They are. I'm really excited.
The man in a diaper holding Fijis. It's going to be incredible.
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
You're not going to live that one down.
No, maybe not. Maybe I should do it. We'll do like a donation thing, and we'll do it for a good cause. You never know. You never know. So
Power of the internet.
Yeah, but
No.
we can go as simple or as complicated as you want. So
yeah. Well, I just want what's best for the animal. That's why I'm just trying to get the what I need as far as requirements, and then go from there. But all I know is he's gonna have one sick looking fucking habitat, man.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. I remember when Steven created it, and it was like, yes, that was.
I saw that. I'm just like, what a nice showpiece. Like, oh my god, the Concorde. Is it SR?
Yeah.
Yeah, SR 72, man. I saw it. I'm like, holy fuck. I don't know what I'm gonna put in it, but I need one. I found something. Fiji iguanas.
I was going through a weird, I don't know, aerospace airplane bend or something like that. And I was looking at all kind of different aircraft and stuff. So that was kind of what sort of inspired that one. Hence the two different aircraft names when we came up with that one. But
yeah, and it's 72 inches tall.
it's 72 inches.
It does.
Yeah, so
it has
kinda,
a meaning.
It kind of makes sense. But I think that was one of the first copycat items we ever had. The first ones I noticed somebody immediately, as soon as we posted pictures of it, somebody tried to make a knockoff replica of. So I was like, we're doing something now. And that one's been actually super popular. So we've got a modified version behind us. Those lights over there, you can see.
Yeah,
that's
I see
actually that one's it's the same.
That's
thing
the
as
3 foot.
Yep.
It's 3 foot deep. Yeah,
Yep.
you got it. That's what we've got the croc monitor in. It's got 2 different like feeding doors on the side, but it has the same 2 big ones in the front, and we have a ladder set up in it. So
Yeah.
we modified that one and made it a little bit bigger, but
it's we've got 3 different ratios, and then we've got the Ascent, which is basically a deeper SR72. So definitely 2 of our favorites.
conveniently all the stuff you're interested in is right behind us.
I know. It's funny because I've actually looked at your thing, even on your page. You have them in your home, and I see the setups. I'm like, oh, I like that color. There's the red. Oh my God, should I do a color? I don't know. Should I just keep it black? I don't know. I mean, there's so many options, but I think
you got to do a color. That's the thing. It's like it's funny how many orders we take from guys who buy plain black enclosures, and like a couple weeks into it, they're like, can I change the color and get neon splatter paint? I'm like, yes, you can. I'm like, who cares about your friends? They have lame black boxes. It's like, you can do something different. Don't be afraid.
Hey, I'm a huge fan of monochromatic. Xanthic crested geckos is really kind of my specialty, and kind of one of my projects with the water monitors. So I'm like, the black and white's good, but colors are also.
This stuff's supposed to be fun. It's like, if you're thinking you want to do something, do it. Do not be scared. Go nuts.
Yeah, go nuts. Enjoy.
There you go. See? Look at that. But yeah, no, I'm excited, and you'll definitely hear from me. Tomorrow. Tomorrow we got to do some ultrasounding tomorrow. We got like 3 or 4 egg cutting videos to do.
Some other videos.
Yeah, we got some other videos. We got the podcast for Patreon in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. Cleaning.
And then cleaning and
some other stuff.
I got ship some animals in Canada tomorrow. It never ends.
Endless. It is endless hours.
Endless.
I wish the day was longer. You could get so much more done.
No. I like 24 hours.
No.
Yeah.
24 is a lot of hours, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go for more sleep.
Yeah. See, I mean, I probably live off 5 or 6 hours of sleep. So if it was 24 hours and it went longer, then I'd be like, fuck, I'm going to be working more than 16, 18 hours a day. No, fuck that. Leave it at 24. 16 or 18, 7 days a week, I'm fucking good. Like, I'm good. Sorry, guys, you have to wait because I can only work 16, 18 hours, 7 days a week. Fuck off. It ain't changing.
Tell people I got to sleep, man. I got to eat and I got to sleep. You got to give me that. And we're on the rest of it.
But no, it fuels me, man. I mean, it's awesome. And it's funny because like Austin wasn't here today. And it's like, hey, let's get this done. Let's get that done and moving and shaking and stuff. And there's always something to do. Even if the whole team's here, there's always something that we're always behind on. And, it's good because if you're always on top of things, it's like, oh, what's to do today? Oh, I don't know, guys. Let's take take the afternoon off. Like, I don't think that'll ever fucking happen in this industry. Oh shit, everything's done. Fuck, just take the weekend off. Like, fuck no. It just doesn't happen,
Yeah, you got to make peace with that. You got to know there's always something else to do. It's like you got to go to bed knowing, hey, I'm doing the best I can. We'll get it to it tomorrow. So you've got to be able to
managing
to
like the
away.
Anxiety. That's been a huge thing.
You wake up at 2 a.m. You're like, did I email that guy? Holy crap! Did I do that? Like, okay, I did.
This is not hyperbole. It definitely happens. So it's like, oh shit, the 2 a.m. You wake up and you're just like, dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah, we're somehow looking at each other like, did you do that thing you were supposed to do? I think I did. What thing? Yeah, that one. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. The hobby, the industry, the business side of it, and how things are moving. The way the industry's growing and moving so fast in the last 4 years, it's been great, but the last year and a half too. Holy shit! Like, no one expected it. No one, and it's. I knew it was always going to get bigger because I've been in it for 20 plus years and I've seen it grow and get bigger. The last 2, it's nuts. And I think that momentum's still going to keep going. And more people doing well and more people taking this seriously and investing in themselves and their business and watching the returns and keep growing and loving what they do and seeing some of that, the personal growth and being more free because now, I wouldn't say free, but you guys are still working your ass off, but you're happier. And you're not,
different type of freedom.
It's a different type of freedom. Yeah, and it's not for everybody. It definitely isn't. But, it's definitely exciting. It's definitely, and I'm glad you guys are part of it. I think you guys are great at what you've done. and how you sort of got to where you are right now, and even the stories behind and you guys going above and beyond. And now you're still moving forward, and you're still like, hey, we're doing so fucking awesome, but guess what? We need a bigger place. We need more work. We need more time. We need more of this. Holy shit. And you'll figure that out, and then it'll be something else. It's like, oh, we did that, but now we got to do this. We got to do that. Holy fuck, we got this. Like, the bigger you get, the more shit you got to deal with. People just think this comes fucking easy. It doesn't. So... But it's rewarding to be in, man. It's rewarding to, get over those obstacles and see what's on the other side. And, yay, I did it. And you turn around, it's like, holy fuck, look at these obstacles. They're even bigger. Motherfucker.
That's what's amazing, too. When you turn around, you're like, look what's behind you. You're like, holy crap, how did we get here? And you realize what's ahead.
In front of you,
like,
yeah.
It's once you get over those first few, you're like, dude, anything's possible. You just got to do it. If you're willing to do it, it ain't no big deal.
Yep, you just got to keep at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, really.
Super chat. Take it away, Austin.
Prairie Pythons. Love the content and has given me a whole new drive.
Awesome.
We like to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, I'm so glad you guys finally were able to, take some time off and come on.
Yeah.
and it's great because...
Yeah, we were not trying to avoid doing all the podcasts. It's just we wanted to make sure that it was right. We weren't,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we definitely appreciate everybody sticking with us and keeping on us.
For sure.
And we bought all these crazy gizmos too.
Yeah,
so
we
like
did.
the last one, we did one podcast and we did it with our cell phone and they were half dead. And I'm like trying to yell into the bottom of it. And I'm looking at me and it's kind of horrifying. And I'm not sure if anybody can hear. And then the Wi-Fi cuts out. So we got all kinds of.
We wanted to make sure that we did it
neat
right this
mics
time.
and whatever.
Yeah. They're awesome, eh?
I want to unplug it. Yeah.
Hold on.
They're just super cool.
There we go. We
Yeah,
got
I
that
saw
right.
it. Yeah, I love mine too, man.
We had to make sure that we did it right because it really was. We had to go in separate rooms. We're in the same house. It was awkward.
Because there's an echo. It's like I'm upstairs and she's downstairs, and like I hear her talking, and then I'm trying to talk, and then like it freezes up. So
yeah,
I think that's a huge part of it too. But like, what are you using?
it looks like he's
We're using the same thing, man. Exact same Rode Procaster, man.
It's excellent. It's
same
excellent.
mics, the same mics, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, they sound good. It's a good quality. I mean, it's easy to get, and
Yeah, we bought these pop filters and we spent like half an hour spitting into these things, seeing if they sound good or not. I'm like, I think they're fine, man. I don't know. I think that was a bad $12 we spent there, but the rest of it's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, these are
tweet
definitely
that.
awesome. And like I said, I'm glad to have you on. I like to have different guests on that are doing different things, not just ball python people, ball python. Different people, up and coming, the kids in the industry, the women in the industry, the men, the newbies, the old school people. I just like the variety and just different shit to talk about. Because like I said, I mean, I'm dealing with all the time ball pythons. It's good to hear other people's stories and stuff that they've done and other people in the industry, and it's just awesome. And I'm glad you guys finally came on, and I love your product. You guys are just awesome, and I love everything that's behind the product. And I hope you guys all the best. And I don't need even to say that because you guys are already heading that way. So just keep doing what you're doing and be you guys, and take the path, the path you're doing at your own pace, and what
we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're gonna do our own thing, and we're just gonna keep going.
That's awesome. One last thing before we go, we always ask our guests. Did I just say asks?
Yeah.
I think asks our guest. We always ask our guests to say Chad EAD.
I think he's talking to you, dear.
I mean, I'll do it.
We'll do it in surround sound.
All right, ready?
Chad
EAD.
Oh,
Bingo.
jeez.
Yeah, in synchronicity.
Never got told twice at once.
Yeah. No, actually, no. Yeah, that's the first time he's had the synchronicity EAD.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. It's
Why
another
did we
first.
handle
Next
two at
level,
once?
no matter what
Yeah,
we do,
we're
it
always
doesn't
trying
matter.
to raise the bar, man.
Who's gonna sue us now? What's
That's
going
awesome.
on?
That's awesome, man. Antoine finally shows up. Fucking just talked about him twice. High Desert Pythons. Now he shows up. Show's over, bud. Fuck. So
Well, at least you can go back and watch.
yeah, that's what's great about
Quality.
it.
It's quality.
100%, baby. That's awesome. But thanks for showing up, guys. And appreciate it. And just keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited for you guys of what you're doing, what you've done, and where you're going. And, you definitely got a customer here for life. So
Well, we appreciate
We'll
all,
make it happen.
Yeah, all that you guys are doing. I mean, you put in a lot of hard work. And we see that. So
Awesome.
thank you.
You make me tired.
Yeah.
I make a lot of people tired. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like, I'm like this the minute I wake up. Like, if the alarm goes off, within 15 seconons, I'm up fucking running. Like, it's go. It's crazy.
15
People are like,
seconds, I
whoa.
wake up, I don't know where I am.
I'm like,
wow.
I need
Is this whose house is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Like, I'm up and boom. Like, there's no like, oh, let me work into it. Like, it's just boom, done. I'm like jammed. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. So everyone have an awesome night. Thanks again, guys. You keep doing what you're doing. You're here for me in the next day or so, probably tomorrow. I got to get on this because, I mean, I
that Post-it note.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it. I just got to tweak a few little things. And what's the difference between the 6% and 12% of the UVB?
So it's really like
Intensity?
It's higher power, basically. Yeah, it's
Right.
the intensity. That's a good way to put it. So like it depends. So the overall, like what Arcadia says, is like the 6% is quote forest and the 12% is quote desert. But
Okay.
it really depends on how, your depth, where you're placing it, if it's through a screen. So there are a lot of parameters of like tuning your personal setup, but like just basic, if you're looking for a lower UVB within 12 to 24 inches, the smaller the 6%, or if you're looking for a higher UVB, an animal that basks a lot in very in intense sun climates, you're going to be looking more at the 12%. But
okay.
It definitely varies between setups, like the way that you're using it. But like I said, we do like to, kind of recommend like the way that Arcadia kind of has it set up with their, their spectrum of their depth and what they recommend as far as
So basically for the Concord, because, the Fiji iguanas are going to bask, but they're not going to bask right at 6 feet high. They'll probably go 3, 4. I'd probably be better apt to put the 12% in. And then in the ratio where it's 24 inches high, I'd probably be better to put the 6%.
Like most of the ratios, when we put a 12% in there, typically it's for like a bearded dragon or something like really sun loving. And a lot of it depends on the length of it too.
Euromastics. Euromastics.
They need a lot.
Yes.
So yeah,
So 12.
they'll probably be a 12. Yeah, and it depends too.
Learning here, man. Fucking learning here on my own show. Fucking love
Well, a
it.
lot of the Euromastics guys will like a wide enclosure because they're so high light. Like a wide enclosure is probably like, I don't know, I'm going to guesstimate like 3 times more reflective than a black enclosure because the black is going to absorb a lot of that light. And that can upset some animals that are light sensitive. So if you've got like a boa or something like that doesn't really like to just lay out in bright light, if you put a 36-inch UVB in there, even if it's a 6%, it can irritate the animal and it's going to hide a lot. So not only do you have to worry about the percentage of the UVB, you have to worry about the length of it as well. And I know you'll find somebody who's going to argue with you saying it's got to be,
all over
2/3 of this, the enclosure, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
well, that's why I figured if I'm doing a 48, I was going to put a 35-inch in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for something that's going to be like
desert
highlight like that, that's probably what you'll do.
Yeah,
Perfect.
one of those back there. That's a bigger dragon setup, and that's
And I was going to do the same thing with the Concord because it's 48 inches wide to do the 35. So
Yeah, especially something that tall because the animal's pretty clever. They're going to figure out where they need to be.
As long as you give them enough space, they're going to regulate.
Yep.
And that's the trick, is giving the animal enough space. You see people who have issues with animals. Usually they've got too much crap crammed in too small a space. So I'm like, if you give the animal space and you give them hides, they're going to figure it out.
They'll find out where they want to bask, where they want to go to get out of it, and where the cooler spot is. And yeah, I mean, they're very intelligent animals. I mean, they all are. They it's
They've been around for a very long time.
Yeah,
so
and it's like, you know what, we got to give them things and let them know, oh, this is what they want. Why don't you let them why don't you it's always in that one little corner. It never comes out. Well, guess what? Because something's fucking wrong. No, that's what they need. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, it just drives me nuts. Yeah.
It's give the animal space, give them opportunities.
We fight
They're gonna
that
figure
every
it out.
day.
Yeah, I know space is limited in the home, but it's like the animal's welfare is most important. You gotta give them the chance.
I would rather have a bigger enclosure with more options than something smaller with not enough.
Correct.
That's
Yep.
it.
And that's,
That should be on our
But
shirt.
that's harder.
Yeah.
It's more difficult. So that's the thing, is like a lot of people want to take the easy road. And I'm like, well, the first thing you have to do is, if you're going to get an animal, you have to make sure that you're in it for the hard and the long road.
Yep. And it's like this. I mean, even ball pythons, I've been doing this shit for 20 years. And guess what? I'm still changing. I'm still modifying. I'm still learning. I'm still, learning little things to do things. And guess what? It works for some and it doesn't work for others. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. Everyone wants that one answer. How do I get my ball python to eat? You got a pen and a fucking 20 pages, it could be this, or a combination of this, or none of them. You never know, right?
Yeah, they have personalities. You need to pay attention and be calm.
You read your animal, and
all you got to do.
Yep.
Figure it out. There isn't an easy one fucking sentence answer. There's like,
Correct.
You find it with one. Oh my God, I got the answer. Yeah, try it with the other 10. Yeah, none of them work. Yeah, it's, everyone is unique, and you've got to just, find it out. And I think that's fun too. Not if they're not eating and they're stressed out, but trying to find out better ways is like, oh my God, like it's exciting to do things and do different things and experiment and try and then see how it benefits. Like, oh my God, this is better for them. You should be doing that because you want the best for your fucking animals, Not like, oh, I got to do this. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Then don't
really?
get into it.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
thing.
like, doesn't make sense. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, let me just buy an animal and it's just going to do whatever the fuck I want, when I want, how I want. No, it doesn't happen. It just
That's what a
don't
lot of
happen.
people
Yeah,
expect. It just does not happen.
Yep.
it does not. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for your time. We will definitely be in touch and see that. Did my some
There
of
we
my
go.
homework,
Awesome,
baby.
man.
Let me know.
Let me get the
Thanks,
outro
Billy.
out. You're welcome, guys, and we will see you soon.
Thanks.
My channel. My channel. My content. My channel. My content. My channel. My content.